This is the Troll Patrol. Live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Saturday and it is day 3 of motherfucking CPAC. We're about an hour and a half away from Donald Trump speaking. It's 4:20 where I am, so excuse me for a moment. Anytime we do these special streams, I usually start at 4:20. I thought about starting at 4:20 Eastern time. I probably should have, because they just wrapped up their panel on Woke Incorporated with Mercedes Schlapp, Justin Danhoff, and David Barnhard. And I'm sure that was a hoot. Very enlightening. Currently, we've got, this is Lock Her Up for Real. That's Kash Patel speaking, joined by Devin Nunes and Lee Smith. Then we've got some kind of roundtable called Power Play. A presentation on the UN war on Israel. And then, of course, 7 o'clock Eastern time, we've got a speech by President Donald Trump.
You guys identified the troublemakers. You call them dirty cops. We thought we knew how bad they were. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm like Kash. I never believed that they actually would do something and have access points to.
So they're talking about the
Trump Tower, Trump's apartment.
The Poe's spying on the Trump administration, which never happened.
And it's also, I'm not shocked by this, and neither are any of you, but the fake news has essentially buried this as if there's no big deal here. And it's totally unacceptable.
The fake news, says the CEO of Truth Social.
The only person in America that has faith, that had faith in John Durham. I think now people are starting to see, more and more people are starting to see with the indictments that are coming. And
there are no indictments coming.
This is the first.
There are no indictments.
In the history of Washington, D.C., that hasn't leaked.
The statute of limitations expired. There are no more indictments coming. The Durham investigation is fucking nothing. Nunes knows this. Nunes is smarter than this, I would hope. What up, RB? Weed. Don't mind if I do.
This was a criminal enterprise.
Because you know I'm not high enough for CPAC.
It wasn't just the Clinton campaign and the dirty cops.
We are live right now. These are the events going on as they happen in Orlando, Florida.
Contracts that are getting special access to scrape and mine internet data.
Let's go!
And then don't forget, you had the media.
I'm trying to make up for the days I took off last week because of weather.
And I think, look, the only thing that we really don't know, I think all of us know the answer because we put up.
CPAC is always a grift.
Right, with evidence. The only thing
but here in the last few years, in the age of Trump, CPAC has turned into a total clown show.
It was late 2015 to early 2016. That's kind of the only thing left that we don't know, unless there's some other bombs out there, like this, like the whole issue of getting access to White House communications.
Well, you guys have described it, from very early on as a conspiracy. So I want to ask you first, and then I want to ask you, is that what we're seeing, and is this conspiracy much bigger than you'd imagined?
Yeah, I think it's much bigger, precisely for what I just said. We
are talking about the origins of the Russian investigation.
Right.
They're trying to paint
a shock to me. And I
Clinton
think,
as
but we also didn't have it.
Having paid to plant dirt on and spy on the Trump administration.
I can say that about those guys now too. Why those guys aren't doing anything. But the thing is that we're legislative branch.
So they're referring to the Durham.
It's hard, right?
Filing, a week ago, 2 weeks ago now.
Jordan was out here earlier, and everybody wants Jim to do more and wants to investigate more, but without subpoena power, it makes it very difficult. And we only had a limited window in there during the Russia hoax.
Somebody should investigate Jim Jordan for helping to cover up sexual abuse at Ohio State University.
Campaign and the Democratic Party is behind the dirty
oranges of this investigation. Did I say that? Did I say oranges?
And I think as he keeps going, I think more and more people, I mean, look.
It's funny if I did.
Probably over a dozen people here or more that should be indicted, in my opinion.
Wow, okay.
Look, to piggyback off what Devin was saying, American people want accountability. Led the charge as House Intel chair. But
speaking of Trump, we're going to hear from him in about an hour and a half.
17 FBI agents and DOJ.
But you know how much he likes to keep the crowd waiting, so it could be another 2 hours.
To John Durham being appointed.
So strap in, bitches. We're going to be here for a while. I'm going to smoke a hell of a lot of pot.
That took 2, 3, 4 years to dismantle some of the largest terror networks in the world. John Durham.
Sparkle's probably going to be messaging me, be like, "Hey, let's go get food. Fuck this stream. Fuck Trump."
So and he's working with like 5 people.
I can't guarantee that I won't be like, "Yeah, fuck Trump. I'm going to go get food with Sparkles."
But you guys got to go out.
You guys are on your own. Bye, bitches.
40, 50-page pleadings for charges for lying to federal officials. Those are 3, 4, 5-page indictments. He's educating the public the only way he can without leaking, lawfully in federal court.
I thought about inviting a Sparkles or a Media Winch or somebody to come on with me.
Because they know the money doesn't lie. Her campaign doesn't deny it. The questions that you guys
Those hips don't lie. Cash.
Is who in the Hillary Clinton campaign orchestrated this effort?
A guy by the name of Cash saying money doesn't lie.
The current national security advisor to the President of the United States, Jake Sullivan, who was then the senior advisor to Hillary Clinton, didn't know what was going on. We interrogated him under oath. Michael Sussman is under indictment because of our interrogation 4 years ago under oath. So these are questions that you guys have the answer.
Michael Sussman, a bit player in all of this, an attorney.
Already has the answers.
The lie that he's being accused of telling is that he didn't disclose that he's working for the Clinton campaign. Apparently he wasn't when he told the FBI that he wasn't working for the Clinton campaign.
What they did to a sitting president or person.
He went on to work for the Clinton campaign.
Everybody who was involved in it, all the lives that they destroyed in this country, that's horrible. Right?
Whose life got destroyed?
Agencies have been corrupted through this. The political
there were 20-something indictments and criminal charges.
What we witnessed last week, people die when this happens. Okay, spending 5 years in hysteria in this country, talking about Russia all the time, crazy stuff, P tapes and all the other crap out there. With the Democrats and the media, always accusing, any Republican who ever said anything, "Oh, you're a Russian agent," right? So we lost critical time. Remember every time President Trump would actually try to go and have a meeting with Putin, and then they say, "Oh, Putin's puppet." Oh, really? Guess what? Russia didn't invade Ukraine during the Trump administration.
I think that's very purposeful.
At the end of the day, this craziness leads to people getting killed.
No. I think invading Ukraine is a flex on the United States, a flex he didn't have to
It's a disaster for U.S.
pull when Trump was in office.
Across the world. It's a disaster.
Helsinki was enough of a flex.
What should we, as a former federal prosecutor,
for Putin during the Trump administration?
What's going to happen?
I think I hinted at it before. I think this summer you're going to see a bunch of indictments drop from John Durham's office. I think it's not going to get to the senior levels that we hope for. I think that'll come later in his report.
Once again, the statute of limitations is over.
Those guys that were in meetings, Peter Strzok, the Lovebird.
For things having to do with 2016.
All of these guys that perpetuated the biggest fraud in U.S. history and lied about it are going to be brought to justice under John Durham's investigation. And
what Kash Patel is saying is fundamentally incorrect and can't possibly be true, and anyone with a brain would know what he's saying is sheer bullshit.
So Devin has been the only one.
You're an idiot, sir. You're an idiot.
John Durham's doing the work methodically. I think he's going to get there. And I have to echo the statements of, I served in the Trump administration. Not only did President Trump, not only did Russia not invade then, China didn't do anything. We withdrew out of Afghanistan successfully. These are all things you need to keep in mind under a Trump administration back then versus what we're going on now.
We withdrew out of Afghanistan successfully.
Download the CPAC app and take a straw poll. I can't tell you who to vote for, but we all know what happened under
during the Trump administration.
Last word.
We withdrew out of Afghanistan successfully during the Biden administration.
He was working in intelligence and at the Department of Justice. He never would get on social media. Until last week, we got him on Truth Social. His
I'm at
first
Cash.
social media
it's ridiculous.
account right here. So
he's a social media genius. 4 posts and he's over, I don't know, how many thousands. Gentlemen.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks everybody. God bless.
Thanks, man.
It's the Saturday night CPAC special stream. Good Lord, that music is awful. I'm trying to spare you guys. Florida acquittal. I'm not sure the Florida acquittal you're referring to, Warlord. Probably something you would put in my Discord, and I haven't even looked at it. And Warlord had indeed put it in my Discord, and I hadn't looked at it. Florida jury acquits ex-police officer who killed a man in Cinema Phone Row. Former SWAT commander Curtis Reeves fired a gun after Chad Olson threw popcorn in his face in a 2014 confrontation. Yeah, I hadn't even heard about this.
On the National Mall.
And it took since 2014 in order to even get a fucking trial.
We got some great interviews. So
acquitted a retired police SWAT commander who was charged with murder after shooting a fellow moviegoer during an argument over cell phone use. Fucking Florida.
I'm always excited to see the turnout. It's always minimized on the news and in the media, but being here and seeing how many people there are and how excited everyone is to be here, it doesn't get old.
The defense attorney said Olson, 43, made Reeves, 71, reasonably believe his life was in danger by turning, yelling, and reaching toward him. He said Reeves made the decision to shoot based on nearly 30 years in law enforcement, hours of training on the justifiable use of deadly force.
Administration that we've ever seen in our country's history. And you look around.
Reeves said he didn't have to wait until he was hit before defending himself.
Stand with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's radical pro-abortion administration.
Fucking bullshit. Radical pro-abortion administration.
It's a young crowd.
Where did they pull fucking Sean Spicer from? To show how fucking young and diverse the crowd is, they pulled out goddamn Sean Spicer.
These motivated patriots here on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. We got some great interviews. Hope you enjoyed it.
So about CPAC is CPAC. There's a few different things I love. I get to see.
And you can see why they fucking love Florida.
I mean, we have Governor Roger.
Awake, not woke. I have no clue what that fucking means. Awake, not woke.
Because everybody you see on Facebook is from all over the world. If you have a network on Facebook.
That dude has to be a neo-Nazi.
It's been great meeting
that kid that was just that kid that was just on the screen with the MAGA hat and the suit on.
Finding a lot of friendly.
I don't know it to be fact. It's probably wrong of me to make that assertion, but he just looks like the kind of person who would be a neo-Nazi. He would be asking us about the Jewish question if we had him on the show. If we had him on the show for long enough.
Associate with everybody that's anybody in the conservative political side of the spectrum.
Anybody that's anybody on the conservative side of the spectrum.
From across the country, other candidates that are running, to get input from them, to meet them.
Guy Comet, what is up?
In DC after November.
We've got Trump in about an hour and a half.
Great question.
It's going to be interesting to see what kind of fucking bullshit they throw at us until then.
First and foremost, and that we take.
They've wrapped up their panel speeches. We've got another presentation on the UN attacking Israel. Oh no, I'm sorry. We've got another panel discussion featuring Representative Mark Green, Governor Kevin Stitt, Pete Hegseth. Yes, this is it.
Representative Mark Green.
This is called Power Play. The music is killing me.
So how many people in this room are prepared and ready to hear from President Donald Trump?
Boo!
So quick question.
I mean, I guess it's easy content for me as a streamer.
Right now. Right there with you. I'm Dr. Mark Green, and I get the incredible honor of representing the people of Tennessee's 7th District. I spent 24 years in the Army, served as an infantry officer, then a special operations.
I was wondering when we were watching the clips the other night if Right Side Broadcasting was playing that god-awful music to cover up some sort of copyrighted music that they were playing there in person, but it seems like that's actually playing at CPAC.
Fighting Democrat Marxism. 40 years ago, I took...
Sir, if you want to fight Marxists,
our Constitution,
let me let you in on a little secret. They aren't in the Democratic Party.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Ever in my life, just recently, did I believe those enemies of America would be more domestic than they are foreign.
You fuckers attacked the Capitol.
In Europe, the threats to our freedom come more from the authoritarians in the Democrat Party than anywhere else. It's as if they want a different country. Whether it's COVID mandates or critical race theory, massive inflation, the supply chain crisis, Americans dying as fentanyl pours across.
I thought this was going to be another panel discussion. It says featuring Carrie Lake, Representative Mark Green, Governor Kevin Stitt, and Pete Hegseth.
Trying to destroy our very way of life. Their goal is to remove.
But maybe they're just taking turns on their little presentations.
And they're using moral relativity to get us there. Let me give you some examples. Freeing criminals on
no panel for Mark Green
in the womb up until labor. Free heroin needles. And they even violated principle that is burned into every American: leave no man behind. When we left American citizens, that president left American citizens in Afghanistan. Their moral relativity is designed to bring about chaos and tyranny.
Hey, let's not attack wrestling fans in here, RB. Come on.
What they're trying to do. The American Revolution, founded in its churches with a fixed concept of a moral right, ushered in freedom and a government.
The motherfuckers that ushered in the revolution were deists, you asshole.
Abolished its churches, moved to a moral relativity that ushered in chaos and the dictator Napoleon Bonaparte. That is where the Democrats are trying to take us. Authoritarian control and no freedom. We are in a fight for our own freedom. I want to ask you, are you with us?
The argument that he could make was that, like, fucking, there were town halls that were basically multi-purpose centers that they had church gatherings at that probably also helped plan the revolution.
Companies pushing their woke agenda of no voter ID. These are giant corporations, strong enough to censor the president of the United States.
I like Napoleon ice cream.
We need giant killers. We need giant slayers. Are there any giant slayers in this room? I'm reminded of a true story. 3,000
sounds oddly sexual.
Boy, ruddy skin, curly hair.
Are there any giant slayers in this room? And would you like to come back to my hotel room with me? I got a giant that I need slaying.
He runs to the commotion. He sees his army spread on one side of a valley. On the other side of the valley is the enemy army. And right in front
spread on the other side of the valley.
UFC fighter. Got the barbed wire tattoo on his bicep. You've seen them, right? Spear.
No, spear, barbed wire tattoo. You're describing Goldberg.
Country and nation.
He's a wrestler. He couldn't beat up anybody.
And you know what happens? That young boy, while all the others cower, reaches into the brook and grabs 5 stones. And he puts one in the sling, and I can hear it now. Whoosh, whoosh. And that stone flies and hits the forehead of the giant. He falls.
This motherfucker was watching Righteous Gemstones, where fucking Jesse Gemstone
and it may
threatened the wrestling promoter with the fucking rock because he was trying to relate it back to the story of David and Goliath.
And believe, like Ronald Reagan said, we have every right to
worked it into a fucking speech because that was just an episode that aired like 2 weeks ago.
God bless you.
Oh, go fuck yourself, dude. God bless you. This fucking music.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Oklahoma, Governor Kevin Stitt.
Yeah, they're just giving us like individual presentations. This is called Power Play, this little segment.
Good evening.
What up, Big Kev? I'm Big Doug. This is the Troll Patrol.
The governor
of Big
the
Doug.
great state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, you had to tell everybody that because nobody gives a shit enough about Oklahoma to know that you're the governor of that stupid fucking state. Ow!
Florida comes in second only to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, America.
And being a shithole backwoods fucking state nobody wants to fucking visit.
I'm a 4th generation Oklahoman. I've been married.
I'm sorry, people actually go to fucking Florida.
And we have 6 beautiful children.
I do not know why people go to Florida on vacation.
From the business world. You see, I started my company when I was 27 years old with $1,000 in a computer. And today that business has grown.
How much was that $1,000 worth when you were 27 years old? Did your mommy and daddy give it to you?
I was a complete outsider to politics. In fact,
I try not to ever take Xanax because I don't like it. I don't like it. It fucks with me.
But when I traveled to other parts of the country for business, I noticed a kind of optimism and pride that I felt was lacking in my state.
I've been to Oklahoma.
Donald J. Trump, a businessman,
it stinks.
An outsider, win in 2016, and I was inspired. So I threw my hat in the ring, and 3 years
I don't like those drugs, and they don't like me.
My state has made, and the rest of the country is starting to take notice of the great state of Oklahoma.
Now I wonder if he is a boomer. He looks like he's on the younger side. He could be a Gen Xer.
Freedom-loving Americans have moved to the Sooner State.
Yeah, I'm not into the benzos. Not my thing.
Like California, Michigan, and even my neighbor to the north in Kansas saw population declines. We know this is due to the nationwide exodus from liberal lockdown states. You know, across the country, huge.
Oh yeah, because people can just pack up and move anytime they fucking want to. So all that has happened in the last 2 years during the pandemic.
People are sick and tired of the never-ending mandates. Red states like mine have been safe havens from the far left in Washington. Right now,
I wanna know what fucking mandates they're talking about.
But in Oklahoma, it's a different story. We have more people employed in the workforce than ever before in the history of our state.
I thought all Oklahoma was known for was like being where the wind blows or some shit.
Unemployment is down to just 2.3%. It's the third lowest in the nation.
I am not high enough for this Stitt.
Savings account.
Oh, did you see what I did there? Did you see what I did there?
Excuse me, fourth highest in the nation. It's the largest it's ever been in our history. Last year, we made record investments in education while also cutting taxes for every single Oklahoman. But anyone who knows me knows that I'm never satisfied with fine or good. In fact, my goal is to make Oklahoma a top 10 state.
Top 10 in what, sir?
And I know we can get there. We cannot get there unless we start improving our education system. You see, for more than a century, the state of Oklahoma has told...
I mean, that's something I could agree with, but he's getting ready to like talk about how critical race theory is.
Our high school graduates are college ready today. Oklahoma is home to dedicated teachers and children who are full of potential, but government-controlled systems have failed us. Oklahoma's last place rankings have gone on far too long in education. So right now in my state, we're looking to accomplish what would be the
no school choice. That's what he's going to talk. Yep, there we go.
Country.
He's not as open about it.
Making its way through the Oklahoma legislature is a bill called the Oklahoma Empowerment Act. It would create an education scholarship program.
He's one of the more moderate Republicans, so it's more about school choice for him than it is about attacking CRT.
Or their zip code. Because in Oklahoma, we know
I said moderate with air quotes.
Not to the government. We know that when you fund students, not systems, when you put parents in charge, not unions, that's when kids succeed.
You want to give them vouchers so that they can funnel public money into private hands.
Florida's living proof that school choice works.
And make private entities incredibly rich.
School choice policies. Florida has...
And yeah, a lot of those private entities will end up being religious institutions.
What's especially remarkable is that low-income students in Florida perform higher on the national report card than their peers in almost any other state. Arizona is another state that...
Lower income students in Florida perform higher.
Students are more successful. And the success of school...
That was a weird way of putting that.
The classroom. Think about this. A study by researchers at Harvard and Princeton, they found that winning a lottery to attend a charter school in New York City reduced the likelihood of incarceration for male students by, get this, 100%.
Oh, I call bullshit on that.
In Oklahoma, we want to be a national leader in school choice. But those who benefit from the government's monopoly want to keep their grip on this power.
I'm assuming everything he's just said is absolute nonsense. I'm still trying to wrap my head around like the poorest student in Florida outperforms poor students in other states.
And here's what we think. School choice should not be just for the rich.
If we're talking about charter schools, they don't perform better than public schools.
Just look at the election in Virginia. In my state,
homeschooling a child because you want to shield them from the theory of evolution, I can agree with you that's child abuse.
This isn't controversial at all.
There are people that homeschool their shit. Like, I've met friends that were homeschooled by their parents because their parents were like professors and shit.
Not unions.
And like they're fine.
It's hard to believe, but it's been just
it's just all about the homeschool.
Biden has been in office. For conservative governors like myself, It's been one heck of a year. At every time,
I can imagine that it made your life
his
hellish.
liberal friends have done everything they can to strong-arm states, from unconstitutional vaccine mandates to trying to take away our Second Amendment rights, to shutting down domestic oil production and turning to Russia for oil, to telling private businesses what they can and can't do. I could promise you this: Republican governors will fight back against this federal overreach.
But if you have cool parents that are homeschooling you because they don't feel that because they feel they can give you a better education, they're probably also letting you participate in because if you're homeschooled, you can still participate in youth leagues and sports and shit like that. So you're probably still participating in
We are the line of defense
team activities.
The American people in this liberal administration. Thank you so much
Here.
for me tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless you and God bless.
Oh, they got Trump. They got the rock star yet to come. This is some shit they would have been playing on Fire by Night. The show that Echoplex watches on Thursday night. It's like a youth ministry fucking skit
Fox
show.
News, Pete Hegseth.
I'm sorry if that's extremely loud. It's extremely loud on their end.
What's up, folks?
Motherfucking Pete Hegseth in the house.
Me and one more person between you and Donald Trump. Maybe a few more, but don't blame.
Maybe a few more. There are other things on the schedule.
For supporting us at Fox and at Fox Nation, by the way, which is broadcasting all of this. Thank you.
Supposedly there's an Ann Basky who's going to talk about the UN war on Israel.
You only have conservatism if you have something to conserve. Conservatism is the understanding that you're preserving the things that make your culture.
That's what I've wondered, what the fuck conservatives are conserving ever. You're not conservative in economic policy. You're not conservative in environmental policy. I've always wondered why are you called conservatives? We don't want to change. We want everything to be exactly the same as it was back in the 50s.
Savior Jesus Christ, the things that really matter. First.
The Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
What you can affect the most are you, your family, your kids, and that orbit, and focusing on that. We know that as conservatives. But the third thing is the most important thing we should be focusing on as conservatives in America today. And the governor talked
about girls just want to have fun.
Education should be issue number one for every freedom-loving conservative in this country. And let me tell you why.
We want to conserve
you can try to limit
what's left of this shitty world.
You can win wars. But if you're not teaching the next generation of kids to love your country and understand where your freedom...
Honey, you didn't talk about generations of kids. The United States ain't fucking won a war in your fucking lifetime.
Take over our schools. Almost every school in America, I don't care where you went to school, your school and mine, public or private, do the research, has been taken over by
I went to both.
That stopped unabated for 100 years. Teachers unions, teachers colleges, the curriculum, the pedagogy, the tests. At this point, the takeover is complete. If you don't believe that, I've got a 5-part series on...
He's got a cross tattoo on his arm.
...of America. It's the truth about what progressives and Marxists have done.
I think it's we the people on the other side of his arm.
Schools, which is what they are, government schools. If we don't take that back, we won't teach kids to love their country. And as we watch Ukrainians pick up...
That's what I call virtue signaling.
...for their country, God bless them, by the way, you can't give anybody else freedom. They have to fight for it. And how about Zelensky?
Freedom isn't free.
That guy can wear the hell out of some body armor. Joe Biden would be like, what side does it go on? I mean, looks like a real leader and they're fighting for it. You can't give it to them. They have to fight for it. In the future, there will be ways in which, at home or abroad, we as free people, as conservatives, will have to fight for the freedom that we believe in. We will not be able to muster that fight unless our kids and grandkids actually believe America is a good place. You have to teach them that. Otherwise, they'll say, well, what does it matter anyway? We're just a systemically racist culture of misogyny and, European oppression. Let them have it. Freedom is never more than one generation away.
Those tattoos look extremely Nazi-ish.
How about Ukraine realizing that
what the fuck?
Kind of a good thing? It doesn't matter till you need it. So when I talk about conservatism, it's an active pursuit of the defense of the things that we care about. And like I said, if you don't have anything to conserve, you're no longer a conservative because you've lost it all.
Be sure to use the promo code RSBN when you go to mypillow.com to get 66% off everything. That's RSBN, promo code RSBN at checkout for up to 66% off. Or the Democrats are going to come and take all of your heritage from you. You're not going to have any heritage left if you don't buy as many goddamn pillows at 66% off as you fucking can, you stupid rubes, you marks.
The question is, as a conservative movement, will we be smart enough to realize we have our Winston Churchill and we still need...
Are they smart enough?
Stupid? You think we're fools?
The pillows are stuffed with as much heritage as you can fucking fit in a pillow.
Donald Trumps don't come along very often. Let's embrace him.
He's a once-in-a-lifetime character, that's for goddamn sure.
Again. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former news anchor Carrie Lake.
Have no clue who Carrie Lake is. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, ma'am. You look like you ask for a manager everywhere you go. It might just be the haircut, though. Ricky Lake's pretty cool. Can't help who your family member's with, so.
A full house tonight. I know you're not here to see me. I know who you're here to see. I'm excited too. Hello, Patriots. Are you out there, Trump Republicans? Woo! I love you too. I gotta tell you, it is truly a miracle that I am standing here on stage right now.
The fucking miracle.
I believe that I'm here, actually, and the only person that I can thank for it is God.
Donald Trump. Oh. Close enough.
I've had quite the year. A year ago, I was actually walking the halls of CPAC, just like all of us. I'm not going to lie.
Ricky Lake. This is Ricky Lake speaking. She's really let herself go.
Fly out of Orlando, home to Arizona, and quit my job. It was a scary feeling.
Apparently, she's a candidate for governor in Arizona. So it assumes she is the Trump endorsed candidate. The governor of Arizona is a Republican.
Anybody here from Arizona?
But he did the right thing and certified the Electoral College votes.
Cast in the state of Arizona.
Trump is very upset with him, so now he's endorsing probably Carrie Lake, the Trump-endorsed challenger.
Walk away from my
Ducey, right?
That I had for my family.
Not Steve Ducey, the dude that's on Fox, but...
Yep.
Fucking, hold on.
And
let me look it up.
I refuse to lie to the people of Arizona. I wasn't going to do it. And that's
Doug Ducey. Doug Ducey is the governor of Arizona.
And I actually thought I worked for the good guys. But let me tell you this, there are no good guys in corporate media. They don't exist. If there were good guys, they would be...
Pete Hegstrup is back there just fucking crying his eyes out. Carrie said, I'm not a good guy.
But the fake news was more interested in talking about...
You missed nothing.
They didn't want to talk and tell us about the risks with the COVID shot.
Carrie Lake is talking to us now.
Mom on that.
I was explaining the background of how we've got a
corrupt 2020 election.
primary challenger to a Republican governor speaking at CPAC. It's all because the Republican governor of Arizona did his job and Trump got incredibly butthurt over it. I didn't hear what she said to elicit that kind of a boo. Damn.
I got a question for you. Why won't you be honest with the people of this country?
Oh, she's insulting the media.
Why? Why won't you tell us the truth about the 2020 election?
You can't handle the truth, ma'am.
You owe it to the people of this...
No, literally, you can't handle the truth.
You know what happens.
Fucking wow.
Turn them off. So I implore to the fake news, forget what your bosses are saying.
And then it'll cut back to fucking CNN. It's like, well, did she make a point? Is there something wrong with our coverage?
Now, unlike...
Are we not fair enough to the Republican who is clearly lying on the stage?
Who are always wanting to do the right thing, and I'm so honored to be here with you. Gone are the days of the rhino Republicans like Mitt and Liz.
Both of whom are serving in an office right now, and you are not, ma'am.
Now, I do understand this. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to ruffle feathers.
Gone are the days of the sitting senator and congressperson.
We don't want to offend family members or start a problem at a family gathering. But folks, we're in the 11th hour and our time...
You fucking live for that shit. Your entire platform is own the libs.
They lost more than a paycheck and a pension. When 56 men signed their death warrant when they signed the Declaration of Independence.
Even the title of this convention, Awake, Not Woke.
Way back when, gave
It
those
is an attack on the perceived wokeness of your political opponents.
we cannot tell our tyrants.
I'm still trying to get an idea of what. Getting fisted. Holy shit, is she sick howling? What the hell? This woman's wild.
USA.
And she's holding the fist up there.
And you know what? It's happening.
That might have been what she was doing.
As we speak, there is a line of truckers, a convoy headed across this great...
Oh my God. They live in fantasy world. How do we deal with a cult that lives in a fucking fantasy world?
We want curriculum that makes sense. How many moms and dads out there? And the very fact that we are here right now.
Hell yeah, truckers. Honk, honk.
We're in the game. And we're in the fourth quarter right now. We got to get in the game. We know that if we have another election that is stolen from us, we're going to lose this country forever. Thank you. Thank you. So
you didn't have an election that was stolen. You have an election that you lost.
We can't even afford our groceries right
by a historic margin, and you can't accept it. You can't accept it because you don't live in fucking reality.
Wide open, and yet the 24/7 fake.
The border's not fucking wide open. The shit you're saying is not true.
They are not mentioning the narco-terrorists who are trafficking CCP fentanyl right through Arizona into our neighborhoods, killing our children and killing our loved ones. I'm going to tell you what, they're trafficking enough fentanyl right now to kill every man, woman, and child 3 times over. Think about that. As far as I'm concerned, that is a weapon of mass destruction.
$2,000 people a day are dying of COVID, and you started off your speech about how you're against any kind of restrictions that might limit the spread. Holy fuck! I might be able to call COVID a weapon of mass destruction.
Stolen elections have consequences, folks. Americans are losing their jobs because they choose to have medical freedom and say no to the jab.
I mean, there is a real issue with fentanyl in our drug supply, but they're against any of the.
Yes, they are.
They're against any of the steps that would help eliminate that.
Who truly won the election was sitting in the Oval Office. None of it.
Even after January 6th,
but don't worry,
we can have people that gather together and act like this and give these kinds of speeches. It's scary to me.
And he's coming back with a vengeance. So, as
Trump is coming back with a vengeance. He's going to punish us all.
I quit my job, and the good people of Arizona reached out to me in droves, and they asked me to run for office. And guess what? I said yes.
Of course you did.
So I stand here today on course to become the most conservative governor Arizona has ever seen.
You're right, Scrappy. If anybody has not seen A Night at the Garden on YouTube, fucking watch that shit. The Nazi rallies that were held in like Madison Square Garden.
It's truly amazing. We are the front runner by a mile. We have a grassroots campaign unlike they've ever seen in Arizona before.
The temperature just keeps rising here in this country.
After hit piece, and they're scared to death. And I am endorsed by the greatest president we've ever known.
Holy fuck.
Donald J. Trump. So I've got a question for everybody right now. Who wants President Trump back in the White House?
They don't live in reality. The greatest president we've ever known.
All right, so let's cast our first vote right now. Grab your phones. You got your phones, everybody? Hold them up. How many of you have downloaded this?
He's the bestly.
How many of you haven't?
He's bigly the bestly president.
Download the app, click on the straw poll icon. You already voted, okay. And then enter your 8-digit code. Do you know where that is? It's right there on your badge, right below the QR code.
They have no shame, you're right, Spider. God, just absolutely no shame whatsoever.
That this vote is more secure than the 2020 vote in Arizona. And we know there's no dead people voting. All right, when you get to that straw poll, vote for who you think should win the 2024 presidential election.
Borgo, what up? Just in time. We're about an hour away from
1 year ago, I was an attendee.
Donald Trump. Go to CPAC.
I was sitting right over there. Yeah, right there where they're waving
Get the CPAC app on your phone. Vote in their straw poll.
Standing up here shows you that we can accomplish anything. So tomorrow, when we leave, when we pack up with all the inspiration and motivation, don't store that away as a memory.
Like, even their fucking stage looks fascist as fuck to me.
You can to make your state Great. Thank you.
No need to apologize.
God bless America.
Well, this is better than the tropical music they were playing earlier. Now, this sounds like one of those generic songs you could have a wrestler walk out to on like a WWE 2K game.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Director of the Touro Institute on Human Rights and the Holocaust and President, Human Rights...
Yes, it looked like the Iron Cross last year. There's the music again. Oh shit. This is Ann Basky. She's going to be talking to us about the UN war on Israel. By that they mean the acknowledgement of the war crimes committed by Israel.
The United Nations has declared war on Israel. The UN's top human rights body is called the Human Rights Council. President Trump and President Bush shunned it. President Biden and President Obama embraced it. So starting Monday, with greetings from Secretary Blinken himself, the United States will take its place beside Russia and other Council human rights authorities, China.
That was what we were talking about that when we were doing the Ukraine coverage the other day.
Venezuela.
Like Russia can just veto anything going on at the UN.
Biden's move legitimizes the Council.
Just like the U.S. vetoes fucking shit, like recognizing food as a natural right.
At the core of
the UN could just veto that shit.
Rights practice. The Council has adopted nearly 3 times as many resolutions condemning Israel than any other state on earth. The last time Russia invaded Ukraine, the Council...
If you're going to have a democratic body, don't have, 7 countries that can veto anything. It don't work that way. That's not how democracy works.
The UN's $63 billion a year operation coddled in New York City. There are 193 UN member states in total. Less than half are fully free democracies. At the UN Human Rights Council, full democracies are outnumbered 2-1, and Islamic states hold the balance of power. The results are grade school math. An American vote in the General Assembly
just because this is an Islamic state,
half of 1%.
Doesn't mean it's out there doing human rights violations, ma'am.
The American taxpayer pay almost 25% of the whole UN bill, $12 billion a year. In short, the UN
human rights violations every fucking day.
And turns them
As I saw a map that showed all the strikes in Ukraine, but also, all the strikes funded by the U.S. in, Yemen.
The most hostile and dangerous anti-Israel operation in its history. Labeled a commission of inquiry.
We should get Trump at some point in time after her speech.
For the inquiry.
He is scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
December.
That's about 45 minutes from now.
The inquiry has 4 goals. Number 1. Declare.
I'm all about if we can make the UN work. I'm all about it, but you'd have to. You would need a fully democratic institution, not one where the U.S. can veto whatever the fuck they want and Russia can veto whatever the fuck they want.
From the top government and military officials on down. 3. Mount a global campaign to pressure states and businesses to devastate Israel's economy, through boycotts, divestment, and sanctions. And 4,
this is an interesting choice for the speaker order here.
Lest it seek to defend itself again. This scheme is a moral, legal, and political outrage.
But I mean, at least she looks serious. She can speak in complete sentences.
Unprecedented.
She's got an academic background, so to contrast her with Trump is going to be interesting.
Legal team, $5 million a year annual budget in perpetuity. The game plan is to turn back the clock to before the founding of modern Israel. For Palestinians, this is Project Do-Over. The inquiry...
I'm totally down with that, Mystical.
Each of them violate...
The problem we're going to run into is religious assholes that are going to be like, oh, you want a one-world government. Because, like, that's one of the ways that we've been able to skirt. Like, the UN doesn't have any real power. So, like, but even when it was being conceived, there were evangelicals
lobbied for BDS.
calling it, you know, the fulfillment of Revelations.
It's Alice in Wonderland. Sentence first, verdict afterwards. Now let's remember, Israel is a country where Arabs and Muslims sit on the Supreme Court, serve as ambassadors.
Our blood is boiling, but are the listeners checking out?
The political party is part of Israel's
Are
government.
the people that are there just like they're ready for Trump and this lady is in their way?
In the Jewish state than in any Arab state. Now let's talk about actual apartheid. In the UN State of Palestine, selling land to Jews is a crime punishable by life imprisonment with hard labor. In what's really apartheid Palestine, the Palestinian Authority has said Jews will be forbidden...
In what's really apartheid Palestine!
...with their filthy feet, in Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas's words. But real life doesn't intrude on UN life. And so this inquiry has set up an
That's wild!
system to take the names of anyone that...
Yes, I'm with Mystical. At least 50% of the audience has no goddamn clue what she's talking about.
...of the conflict...
That audience like, Israel good.
Repression.
Arab people bad.
To bring this home. Have you ever written...
Bring it on home.
...social media, donated funds to defend Israel? Have you ever prayed for the well-being of the Jewish state? Visited the old city of Jerusalem? I'm sorry to tell you, according to the UN, you are a root cause, an oppressor, and your name could find its way onto a UN list of individuals responsible. So
what in the fuck is she talking about? Now, what is very real is that if I gave to a BDS cause, I could be prevented from doing business with certain state governments. And I feel that is wrong, and that is a violation of the First Amendment.
Can fight back, and here's how. The inquiry has issued a call for submissions, expecting them to pour in from Israel bashers. Let us prove them wrong by making our own submissions. Not because we are going to change the outcome of this kangaroo court, but because we can affect the court of public opinion.
Go make your own submissions. That's what free speech is about.
The real root cause of this conflict. Anti-Semitism. We can testify to the indigenous connection between the Jewish people and the land of Israel.
You're right, Spider. This is very cerebral.
We can deal.
Oh my God, they've got a Trump countdown. Look down in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a Trump countdown.
The truths we told them, what they knew to what they buried. Making a submission is very simple. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to www.submit.
Oh no, it is going to be longer than 40 minutes. He's going to make them wait.
You can add your name to a pre-filled statement and push submit, or you can write your
This is
own
a coordinated campaign.
your own words.
Propped up by big money, the big money that fuels CPAC.
You should know. Appropriators on Capitol Hill are currently negotiating the funding of our government for 2022. The deal
They're negotiating passing yet another continuing resolution
unless the
because the Build Back Better Act was the budget.
inquiry are expressly withheld, you are going to pay for this UN war on Israel. So here's the deal. Submit Global, shout, holler, and roar.
What? I submit Doc Global, show, holler, and roar. I didn't understand what she said there at the end, but the rest of her speech was very scary. Oh yeah, that's the appeal to the U.S. evangelicals. That was a feat. They just want to make Jeebus come back. Yeah, she didn't elaborate. She did not elaborate on what, like, did I miss what she said?
We all agreed in the authenticity.
I thought she was giving us a website to go to in order to submit our complaints to the UN. But she gave some kind of like a call to action that was like holler and roar. She reminded me a little bit of like Elizabeth Warren there at the end.
iOS, Android, and web apps coming soon.
We've got the countdown to Trump is going. It is at 38 minutes and 30 seconds right now.
That government by an elite group is superior to government for, by...
Going to be interesting to see what Right Side Broadcasting fills in the gap with.
Not the other way around.
According to the itinerary, Ann Beskey was supposed to speak about 6:20. So they're running a little bit ahead.
It is made up of men and women who raise our food, patrol our streets, man our mines and factories, teach our children.
There is a Sunday event, but it ends early, and all they got is Don Jr. and Lee Greenwood, and I don't think anybody wants to watch that.
They are, in short, we the people.
Because they say they don't want to live their life in fear, but that's all they've got. All of them live their lives in total fear. Fear of anything that isn't their own little home base. Their neighborhood with their white picket fence that makes them feel safe. We the truck nuts.
Well, I believe we the Americans of today are ready to act worthy.
That's why security theater has been such a lucrative business in the United States. They ain't scared, they're just ready. With their buckets of rice and cheese, the gallon buckets. It comes in like you get like a fucking big paint can bucket of rice and cheese.
Sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it. Now.
You don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go fucking.
A message from Voter Safe House.
What's that dude's name? Not Pat Robertson. It's one of those other ones.
6% concerned about disenfranchisement. Voter Safe House is here.
Tammy, Baker. Is Tammy Faye's husband. James Baker.
And federal levels, bringing confidence back to the vote in the USA. So tell a friend, tell your family. Voter Safe House, because we're all in this together.
I'm probably gonna get the fucking Jim Baker.
He calls democracy messy. Props up the Chinese.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the Vic Berger video here.
Known for violent oppression, invests in Chinese military companies. A defector? No. It's BlackRock CEO Larry Fink.
Jim fucking Baker.
American company who's gone all
How's this motherfucker serve jail time for fraud?
Larry Fink, BlackRock, taking your money.
Still comes back out, does the same goddamn shit, gets rich all over again. Now this is motherfucker making it like he's got buckets of rice. This is doomsday rice he's selling. God, I don't know what we got going on CPAC over here. What the fuck is this shit? Coca-Cola! Wow, this seems like they're fat shaming.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
There's reporting that can be trusted. There are programs that can inspire every generation.
Coca-Cola!
There is a television network worth watching and sharing.
Most of their audience, indeed, like it's the left that's fucking eating healthy and shit.
We won't be divided by politics.
Oh yeah, that is right. Fucking Trump loved him some fucking Coke.
We believe in
Was it Trump on like some show that was sponsored by Pepsi?
We are
and they had to hide his Coke at one point in time or some shit.
And trust and programs that make you smile.
Old Trumpy boy. We're gonna see him here in about 30 minutes.
Hey, check. Main podium check.
Doing a mic check at the podium, making sure that Trump's microphone works.
Check.
But
1, 2, 1, 2.
NTD.
Get ready, folks. It only gets more intense as time goes on here as we get closer and closer to 2024. There'll be more Trump in your life. It's been nice having a breather for the last year. There's more and more Trump coming your way. I was hoping he would have enough legal trouble that would just completely break his bank. Then we wouldn't have to deal with him. No, he's going to keep this grift going. He is 100% in the Republican primary. It's his nomination to lose. Apparently, even Truth Social is already starting to ban people. Fucking, I think this entire event has been sexual anarchy.
You live in sexual anarchy?
You have Diamond and Silk up there, that's sexual anarchy. Why is it sexual anarchy? I don't know. Why was the Super Bowl sexual anarchy? We're just throwing around the term. Has no meaning anymore.
CPAC is crucial. It brings together not only prominent conservatives, but thousands and thousands of conservatives from all over the country.
Beck trying to look like the Walmart KFC guy. I don't know what he's got going on with his look. Looks probably the best thing about him. I think his look's kind of cool. Everything else about Glenn Beck sucks fucking like ball sack, and not in a good way. Not like I would enjoy having my ball sack sucked. I don't know, though. Like, I might let him suck my ball sack looking like he's been looking. He's not a bad-looking man. That's not the issue with Glenn Beck. I want a precise definition for what sexual anarchy is exactly, so that I know how to spot it and report it to Charlie Kirk.
Quite a while ago in CPAC, came here, probably made my first real political speech.
Yeah, I always want my balls sucked from a place of love, and I like sucking balls from a place of love.
What the hell? Let's run for president, right?
Well, the president may have won an award for being one of the longest presidents to actually speak at a CPAC event. This speech went well over 2 hours.
Donald Trump spoke.
Oh, God! He went well over 2 hours? He wasn't there last year, I don't believe.
It's wonderful to be back with so many great patriots, old friends, and brave, young, conservatives. What a
Good, like, I can't make it 2 hours.
Probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
If this is your first time joining me for a Trump speech, usually we'll listen to like the first 20 minutes, and then he just kind of keeps saying the same shit over and over again, and then we talk about movies, video games, shit like that. And he's just kind of in the background and nobody's paying attention to him. I think that's what happens to his audiences as well nowadays.
I am with you. I will fight for you.
Are you pulling 69 on your side? Like, usually somebody's on top when I'm doing a 69. I want some thighs in my face.
But without freedom, none of it is possible. And that comes from the big guy, not the government.
All these young people here, everywhere you look, there are groups of millennials who tell us they are dedicated to growing the conservative movement.
Groups of millennials.
Going to be in the hands of the next generation.
You're the activists. You're the people who.
They've got a whole crowd full of Kyle Rittenhouses.
And I can't wait until we take that gavel from Speaker Pelosi in 2022.
Hey, check, 1, 2, yeah.
You've gotten
1,
coverage
2.
this year that I'm not sure I can recall ever you getting. So congratulations.
Hey,
You know what I like about this? Number one, I'm in love. And
We've got a hype man talking into the microphone
1, 2.
during our hype video.
1, 2.
CPAC
Hey,
loves
check.
President Trump. It's a mutual, strong relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
CPAC kicks
1,
off
2.
today. Matt,
congrats on another
successful conference.
It's obviously the Super Bowl for conservatives. Being conservative.
I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the Glenn Beck there.
CPAC is what makes America great.
These two.
What makes America
I'm sorry, Scrappy.
Someone like me.
Hey, check. 1, 2.
Later, be standing center
Yeah,
stage
perfect.
at CPAC.
1, 2.
How's
Hey,
CPAC doing,
check.
Beck? Huh? My man, stand up.
That
please,
one
will
you've
you?
been in.
He's the one who said you should run.
Metal Gear Solid 1
We're gonna go all over the
to
country.
make the best movie. If you stuck to just the story, you did it right.
We've been going on the road to all.
That's my problem. Is like nobody gonna do a Metal Gear movie right.
Some of the most conservative
Hey,
voices
check.
in
1,
national
2.
politics
1, 2.
are in Memphis
1, 2.
tonight.
Metal Gear Solid 3. You do Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm 1 or 3, either or.
Another episode of CPAC Live. We are driving around Kansas.
So this is what we call our date. When we go out and travel together, we're here to defend and fight.
Glenn Beck's got kind of a round face.
What do you think? Welcome to North Carolina officially. The whole idea is to help America. And if these thousands of activists who come to the conference and the millions who watch
I rated
engaged in their community,
God, who was it? Sansol I rated the other day, and they were listening to the Snake Eater song.
back down.
Check.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yes. 1, 2.
Like Death Stranding is fucking wild.
CPAC is all about the activists. It's about young people. It's about you. It's about people who are passionate for liberty.
It was like playing a music video at times, because like you'd be like coming over a mountain and a song would start playing, and like you're just fucking walking through the music video of this song. Like it was so awesome. I have a love-hate relationship with Fallout. The first Fallout I ever played was New Vegas.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I loved New Vegas. I hated Fallout 4. Fallout 4 sucked in my opinion.
Any other president. And CPAC is obviously that perfect place to bring the whole family together.
I went with the institution, and I didn't like any of the fucking factions. I had my gripes with every single one of them, so I was like, I'll just be evil and go with the institution.
You all are like our founding fathers of yesterday that understand what's at
New Vegas was excellent, and that's why I just played The Outer Worlds, probably like back in January. That's by the team that did Fallout New Vegas. And Outer Worlds was magnificent. Oh my god, that game was so good. Railroad would probably be the group I would pick if I did it again, because I was not satisfied with the Institute ending. But I don't think I'd ever play it again. I'll play a Fallout 5 if they put it in front of me. But then again, there's the I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I'm on the Sony console, so there's the possibility that, you know, Elder Scrolls 6, I ain't getting it. I ain't getting no Fallout 5. They might very well be Microsoft exclusives going forward. I can play them on my PC if I wanted to.
The idea that
I probably like in terms of our politics, the Railroad would probably be the one that matches up the closest.
I don't think there's
But there was some reason I didn't like them. Like all of the groups had like a fault with them that I was just not about at all.
2022, and America is not woke. America is awake. So wake up, America. It's time to take our country back.
Where my guns are gone?
Democrats very much in shellacking territory.
This is a big deal. These numbers are bad. These are our voters.
On direction of the country, 70% wrong track. That's big time shellacking territory.
These are voters that came to us in 2018, came to us in 2020, and have abandoned us in droves. That is a 5-alarm fire.
Nobody even wants to be seen with Joe Biden or Kamala Harris because they're so unpopular and their policies are so toxic.
You should absolutely get Outer Worlds. The only thing you need to be aware of is that you can't do third person. It's fixed first person. If you don't mind a first person shooter, absolutely get Outer Worlds. It is so fucking good. I enjoyed it very much. Then I played Horizon Zero Dawn again because I was all excited for. I mean, I haven't bought Forbidden West. I'll buy it the first time it goes on sale. I have an aversion to paying fucking $70 for a video game, unless like I absolutely like fucking Death Stranding. I paid $70 for. I got it like right when it came out. Maybe Resident Evil 8. It's very rare. Oh, Final Fantasy 7. The remake. That's probably the last one that I got. Brotherhood was definitely pretty fascist. My opinion. But like going around and telling them like fucking ACAB motherfuckers. I played New Game Plus and kind of breezed through it and played the main story again, and then I went and played the Frozen Wilds. That was really fun. And like that final boss gave me a hard time even after, you know, I replayed the whole game on New Game Plus. It was still kind of a challenge for me. Like it vented fire out of its chest. So if you were too close, like you just got completely doused in fire. That was also its weak point.
racist. No, you're not a racist. You're trying to make sure there's no fraud in an election.
I have a message to these corporations. The conservative movement, these nonprofits, these grassroots groups, like CPAC, we're not going to help you anymore. You are.
Are you asking me about something that happened in Fallout 4? Because like I'm gonna tell you guys, I have no memory. Like at this point in time, playing Fallout 4 would be like playing it all over again, like fresh. I wouldn't remember it. That's the reason why I wanted to play Horizon Zero Dawn again, because like I fucking didn't remember shit about it. It's a whole new surprise when I got to the end of that game again. Oh god, movies I haven't seen in a couple years. It's like a twist hits me all over again. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he loves ice cream because he never has to worry about brain.
Now that's a fucking scary picture of goddamn Glenn Beck. I mean, okay, I have face blindness or something. I can't tell people apart. I don't think people look like other people and shit. Like I'm weird. New Spider-Man. Are you talking about Miles Morales? Are we still talking about games? I've not seen the new Spider-Man movie. It's streaming like this time next month.
CNN President Jeff Zucker abruptly resigned.
CNN is awash in toxic masculinity.
But I played Miles Morales. I played it at Christmas time. It was good, but it was just short. I understand they wanted to get something out there because there's not many. I have a PS5. There's not many PS5 games to play. You know, the main joy I've gotten out of the PS5 is going back and playing PS4 games that have been unlocked to where they're in 4K and shit. I don't know about the movie. We Sparkles and I have watched like Homecoming and No Way Home like in the last couple months. I want to get in on the Spider-Man hype, but I won't actually watch the new one until, you know, it's streaming. I think it's like the 22nd or the 24th. Then I'll watch it.
Turns out that yeah, President Trump was right. Worse than
I don't like going to the movie theater. I like watching shit here.
The former president was correct.
I've got a couple of things I'm really looking forward to. I want to see House of Gucci.
Into his tenure in the White House.
I'll tell you, I hope Donald Trump
You're live inside the arena at CPAC.
I've never seen all the old Spider-Man movies. I've never seen like either of the Amazing Spider-Mans, and I've never watched the like the ones that were big like right when I was out of college. Right when I was out of high school. That's when like the first one came out like when I was a senior in high school or some shit.
We had the opportunity to spend a few minutes with the president. He addressed a couple of topics. Obviously, the Ukraine.
God, it sounds like Matt Gaetz is speaking. I don't want to turn it back up.
About the Biden administration, and of course talked about true.
It's all about movies and video games.
And toss to this breaking video that we just acquired.
Oh fuck! It's a breaking video that they just acquired. So well, let's give it a spin here.
President Trump.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Nice to see you all.
Good to see you.
Very good.
Mr. President, can I jump right in if I may?
Sure.
Question. Good to see you. Great to see you. It's very noteworthy that under 4 years of President Trump, Vladimir Putin made no move.
That's a thing they do to everybody. They still address people by their offices even after they left office, and that's like.
Ukraine right now. Make it.
I never questioned it until like it was like a Noam Chomsky or somebody brought that up in some.
What's going on? There was no reason for
some lecture I was watching. I'm like, you know, that is really weird.
If our administration were in place, not even close. He always had a feeling for Ukraine, but it would never have happened. Would have. What's happening today is so sad when you watch it, when you see what's going on. Now, who knows where it's going? I mean, very brave people. The way they're fighting, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, that's fucked up. It's like a fucking royalty thing. It's a holdover from
And does it make you want to
like
run for president?
British bullshit.
I just want to do what's
Sorry,
right.
warlord. You guys and your British bullshit. Like eating beans for breakfast. Fuck off with that nonsense.
Appreciate that question. You know, also gave a lot of the javelins that you're hearing so much about. We gave those javelins when President Obama was giving sheets and pillows and I guess blankets. That didn't help too much, but we gave javelins, a lot of them too, and I guess that's helping a lot.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please go ahead. How are you? How are you? Nice to see you.
Good. I have a question for you about one of your pals, one of your friends. Text messages were recently released from the January 6th committee sent by Sean Hannity on January 6th. In it,
are we getting a good question here?
Contradicting what you were trying to tell your staff that day, and at least text messages to one senior staffer. Do you still consider Hannity a friend and ally?
Well, I don't know what messages you're talking about, but I think he's a great gentleman, a very talented person. He gets fantastic ratings, and certainly he speaks well of me. He agrees with what I'm saying, so I really don't know. I haven't seen him. Oh, I haven't seen him, no. I haven't heard about
2024 is going to be wild.
Mr. President.
Yeah,
Mr. President.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm already thinking about it as a political streamer.
Resonated. Last year, you promised to roll out a social media platform that all Americans can jump on to secure their voice.
Truth Social!
You rolled out Truth Social.
Yeah.
Would you please comment on the success of this rollout and how significant it is in our culture?
The success, I've heard it was a pretty big flop.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people trying to get on, and we're doing it very slowly. You know, you open something like that. I had
because you don't have the fucking capacity on your servers.
No voice, and now
it's
we're
a
going to
grift.
Have voice again. We have tremendous, as you see, and we're getting tremendous reviews too on the platform itself. But it's slowly.
Those javelins are magic, Donnie.
They're loving the product, and we're getting a voice.
When can we get your first post?
Well, we'll be doing it pretty soon.
I think he's going to leave the vaccination part out of his speeches. I think he's learned his lesson. He's dumb, but he's not that dumb.
Yeah.
Right now, the app, as of this morning, the waiting list is closing in on 1 million people. Has that even exceeded your expectations?
I thought it would do very well. I've done very well in this world, and I thought it would do very well. But the two things I'm really happy about, they love it once they get
it. It is a scheme. It is a grift.
Record breaking. So we're very happy.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please. Hi.
We're seeing a lot of bravery from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. And, you know, he's not abandoning.
He corrected her.
His countrymen. If you were in a similar situation, would you take up arms like Zelensky?
Imagine getting the pronunciation of a name corrected by Donald Trump. God damn.
They step up. You never know until you get tested. And he's being tested at the highest level. And so far, he's really shown great leadership and great bravery.
This was recorded earlier, Warlord. This was recorded earlier.
That's fine.
This was an exclusive interview they had with him.
And hopefully we won't have to need that.
You see the Chiron says moments ago with President Trump.
This should not happen. This should never have happened.
Well, these are all friendly news outlets, I would assume.
Well, that's what he thinks. I believe he does think that. And it's probably true.
God, he's an ugly motherfucker. I hate to comment on somebody's looks.
Mr. President, the Department of Justice, under your administration...
Like, usually I can find something attractive about, like, any person, but, like, that is an ugly motherfucker.
Shut that down.
I want to do things to him that would violate
careful with that in China.
Twitch terms of service.
He's a very big player, but it's it can be a very dangerous player in so many different ways, especially in that we had it very well shut down, and now they're opening it up, and I'm surprised.
Like the hair over his this fucking
that's what they want to do. I think it's a big
waft of hair over his ear is aggravating the shit out of me. Why are you so ugly?
Well, a lot of things are going on in Pennsylvania. As an example,
I would not clap his cheeks.
Corruption that we've all seen, that I've seen. When you look at the,
I have slept with a lot of people. I have very low standards.
This is just now coming out.
They are not low enough for me to sleep with Donald Trump.
It's now a modern day fingerprint, and it's conclusive and it's determinative. But Pennsylvania knows, as you know, over the last 3 or 4 months, they've become very active because they found out that I believe they found out that it was a big scam in Pennsylvania, and it's been a scam in many other states too. I don't know that they're fixing it. I think they're finding out what happened. More importantly, right now, because you really have to find out what happened in order.
I've resigned myself to, like I'll be bald on top and have the Hulk Hogan around the sides look going on. I don't care.
But we have some very good Republican leadership in Pennsylvania, and they're finding out tremendous things.
Makes me better than Melania.
Presidential election.
Would I have a threesome with him and Melania? Would that be hot?
And other mostly swing states, probably other states also, but they focused on the swing states.
And they probably got some weird shit going on that would make me like really uncomfortable with being in the room with them.
Based on what's happening right now with Ukraine, and
because like she hates his guts.
North Korea might be.
So that would be a fun fucking. Because I like to be with people that are into people. Like I want everybody to be into the people that they're fucking.
We never came close. I got along with Kim Jong-un very well. We had a very good relationship. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's terrible that he had a relationship." Well, we had a very good relationship. We got along, and we didn't.
I can't imagine she even hate fucks him.
Because he has a lot of nukes and a lot of different. And we know exactly. What
I'm not a hate fuck kind of guy.
He seems not to like.
I'm mad at you. My dick ain't hard.
What happens there?
No, I'm gonna be kissing on you and telling you.
For a long while now that.
Telling you how nice you look in that soft lighting.
We withdrew from Afghanistan was one of the most embarrassing moments in the history of our country. I actually think that if that didn't take place, you might not have what's happening in
caressing that asshole.
I think when Putin saw that and when President Xi of China witnessed that, I think he has a whole different design right now than he would have had before that. I think they looked at that and saw it grossly incompetent.
Well, he doesn't even touch his hand; just smacks it right away.
Leaving Americans behind, $75 to $85 billion worth of.
I'm so glad they gave us this audio of Trump right before we listened to Trump say the same exact bullshit.
Contributing factor to what's happening today in Ukraine, and I think it's going to also lead to a similar thing happening in Taiwan. They wanted to get the Olympics finished. A
lot of people are talking up the whole Taiwan situation right now. I didn't know there'd been a lot of movement on that front.
First time in many, many decades that's happened. That would have never again happened during my administration. And a lot of people, even the radical left, I saw Chuck Todd said the other day, how come he was...
Chuck Todd is your example of the radical fucking left, you stupid fucking whore.
That was a shocking question. And they were unable to answer that.
Chuck Todd is like center right.
But it never happened.
A shit lib of the neocon order.
What is the one sanction or the two sanctions that have not been implemented to stop Vladimir Putin that you would implement given a Trump presidency?
Sanctions. Now you have to understand.
Oh, is that what's going on? China is doing some flyovers in no-fly zone over Taiwan.
The one that people are talking about, which is very, very severe, as you know, is SWIFT. And that just really destroys a banking system of a country. It's a very big step, and we'll see whether or not that's...
The other night, the...
thousands of people, hundreds of...
clip we played at Fox News talking about SWIFT.
And this could spread to other...
proved that Fox makes people dumber.
Something has
because
to be
we came out thinking that they were talking about Taylor Swift.
Something has to be done.
We're going to revoke Russia's access to the music of Taylor Swift.
People's minds, if you read, if you see, if you study, that seems to be the one that's
given the situation
the most
now,
powerful.
What should be done?
They're not going to be able to shake that one off.
Is what it is now, but you say it wouldn't have gotten here. What should Joe Biden do? What should Biden do?
Well, I think I know exactly what should be done. Number one, we shouldn't be here. But on the assumption that we're here, and that's a big assumption, but it's happened. There are things that he should do. I would rather not tell him under this forum. I don't think it's appropriate to say that, but there are things he could do that would be very strong.
But fucking, he knows exactly what should be done, and his way is the right way. But he's not going to tell you, because this isn't the appropriate forum.
In office, I had it rebuilt, modernized, and also rebuilt our military, also started Space Force, which has a lot to do with what we're talking about. But with the greatest nuclear power But Russia.
I don't think he's scripted. I think he's off the cuff. He's saying the same shit he always says.
5 years behind, but they have very substantial.
And he's been doing the media rounds this past week talking about Ukraine. So he's saying the same things he said on the phone.
Doing well. Hope the family's doing well.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I like you people.
We love you too, Mr.
I like you people.
Thank you.
I like you people. I like you people.
And there you have it. What a great conversation. A few minutes that he spent with a
Whoa.
behind the stage there right before he comes out. And he did talk about Ukraine and Russia. And obviously, I don't think that whole...
Like a rolling stone. Oh, I'm sorry.
President Trump was still in office. The leadership and the courageous, how bold he was to stand against these countries.
I've seen so many people were like, this wouldn't have happened if Trump was in office, which could be true, but it's not for the reason you're insinuating.
That app, and it was.
I mean, I've pondered the question: why would, if Putin really wanted to, just take over Ukraine, why wouldn't he have done it while Trump was in office?
Technology-wise, but it's been a tremendous success so far. And like we said before, if you're in that waiting queue, just be patient. The president says, well, everyone's going to get on. It's just a matter of time. And then, of course, I followed up with the question as far as when can we see the first post?
The Trump clock has stopped ticking, but we are 5 minutes from the scheduled time.
President Trump's first post.
If he comes on time, he loves making him wait for his Trumpian appearance.
We'll see. He's going to take the stage here shortly. CPAC, Conservative Political Action Conference. We're on day.
I totally believe that the right-wing media there was trying to guide him.
Take the stage. If you're not already, please make sure you're following us on all of our.
They're showing off the picture of him hugging the fucking flag, like that's something to be proud of. Like it wasn't an unhinged moment of a deranged dumb motherfucker.
How many viewers are we at, Grace? We're gonna check on the viewership. Before we do that, I want to remind you guys this is the time. Let's go shopping. Who doesn't love it?
We are watching Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Really energetic, heated, great topics covered. Interview with our very own Brian Glenn. You can check that out. And he encouraged everyone. We love this. It was really sweet of him. He said,
this used to be an event that they would cover on C-SPAN, which I mean C-SPAN probably is doing their own coverage.
And give a voice to those who have been silenced and who have been censored like President Trump. So if you want to support
I wish they could learn to feel embarrassment.
He said when he was canceled by these big box
they have zero self-awareness.
When they canceled him for meeting with the president.
Absolutely cringe.
He's a businessman. He decided that he's going to say, okay, well, I don't need you guys anyway.
Don't forget to use promo code RSBN to get 66% off everything. Promo code RSBN at the My Pillow store. 66% off of everything.
Online order. It'll prompt you to enter a promo code. They want you to save money.
I was doing that facetiously. I'm not actually doing a live read for MyPillow.com.
He said now they have over 200.
Please do not take that as sponsored content for my stream. Mike Lindell is not paying me any money, nor would I take Mike Lindell's fucking.
We need some money. We got to go to a ton of rallies.
We need some money. We need some money.
In South Carolina, this is of course President Trump's rally. It's going to be.
I mean, hey.
I think this is going to be really.
At least they're just upfront about it. We need some fucking money, bitch.
Going forward, it's looking like we might have a rally every 2 weeks, leading up until.
We got a Trump rally every 2 weeks. We need some motherfucking money.
We need to make sure that we are equipped in a war chest to go out and fight this battle. We're not like the mainstream media, and we don't have any large investors or anything like that. So it's these promo codes and it's your donations that keep us going. If you would like to donate, you can do that too. Go to rsbnetwork.com/donate. It has our address there as well, so you can either mail a check or you can use PayPal.
You can mail a check. They know who their target audience is, so you can mail a check to us.
So no matter how small
you old person that is sitting on a couch in your fucking living room, you're watching YouTube on an app. You were able to figure out how a Roku works. You're watching YouTube on an app. Please send them a check. Mail Right Side Broadcasting a check, you old bastards.
YouTube. We're live streaming on Rumble. We're live streaming on Getter. We're live streaming on Facebook and Twitter.
I can imagine My Pillow has an F BBB rating.
Live streaming too. If you share it, if you repost us.
Yeah, scrape. Just go ahead and give me your routing number, your account number. They'll handle everything after that. It's okay.
These interactions.
You'll get those recurring monthly donations. As we get closer to the election, then it'll become weekly donations.
You guys are helping us break up this big tech censorship, and we look forward to seeing you over on all of our profiles. Let's say Grace is going to do Twitter. I'll be monitoring
Macho Man.
the Truth Social. So we divide them amongst all of us, and we're going to be interacting with all of you guys, giving you some.
We're going to be interacting with you on Truth Social, which none of you can get on. It's like in beta testing for Apple users.
And we're going to continue to provide you the best stream for President Trump's speech as always. It's what we do. We have the best speeches anytime President Trump talks, and we have the best viewership and the best audience. You guys are rock stars. I'm Liz Willis.
I wonder how many of their audiences are like people like us mocking them.
Getter and Twitter.
I will give them. They are my go-to for Trump rally live videos.
I'm about to toss the microphone over to our third partner in crime, Grace Saldana. Grace, update us on our articles. What's the website?
Does it do any? Is anybody enforcing like a truth in advertising laws anymore?
Viewership right now. It looks like we have about 60,000 people watching across YouTube and Rumble, and it might have gone up since I last checked.
60K.
Help us get to at least 100,000 before President Trump takes the stage. It is about 6:59 p.m. and he should be taking the stage.
Share out the Troll Patrol, so we can help them get to 100,000, but they don't actually get the view counts.
Very hard day and night to get you guys the news that is most important to you guys. So
stick it to big tech and stick it to Right Side Broadcasting.
To Governor Ron DeSantis, to great news for the GOP. I mean, there's a lot of negative news in the world, and we want to make sure that you guys have the latest on America First candidates.
I feel like the pillow market is saturated right now.
So make sure you guys subscribe.
I will not be your left-wing pillow salesman.
In case we ever
I don't like you insinuating I should pull that kind of business venture.
Rumble is a backup for that, but also stay in touch and get written communication from us via email. So go to our
Get written communication via email. This is some wild shit.
About one newsletter per week, and we may send one or two more depending on if President Trump announces a rally. For example, if President Trump announces a rally in South
They're
Carolina,
like photocopying.
usually send an email right away. So you guys.
The only thing I can think of here is they're photocopying them, like writing out a letter.
Stay tuned.
And they'll send it to you
We are
on
gonna ramp
emails.
up our midterms coverage, so we appreciate all of you guys reading our stories and liking and sharing.
If hemp pillows are comfortable, wouldn't Tommy Chong already have a corner on that market?
Also follow us on all of our social media accounts and download our app, because on our app you
I
can
sleep on a big fluffy fucking like feather pillow.
and you can also see all of our stories.
Or maybe it's cotton stuff. I don't fucking know. It's a big fluffy pillow.
That you want to rewatch from Georgia.
Playing a little CCR right now.
Head to our app. You can find it on the Google or Apple app stores for Android or iPhone. Pretty much anywhere you can find it. You can get it on.
Speaking of which, yeah, I'm gonna turn them down a little bit because they're playing CCR kind of loud. I want my 4 cents from YouTube. I used to say it was 2 cents. It's gone up now. It's about 4 cents a stream.
2022 Orlando, and this is not.
If I play something that's got some copyright, I don't get my 4 cents from YouTube for the day.
In August or September, so stay tuned for that. We have a lot of midterms elections coming up.
Well, Google will pay me.
Candidates are gaining traction, so this will certainly be a movement to watch closely. Liz and I were talking about this earlier, but it truly seems like people are lining up with the America First values. Finally.
I called it. I said there's no way that he would speak at the top of the hour.
This is not going to be something that you want to miss out on.
About 3 minutes out from the top of the hour.
Live events and future programming. We have some really great stuff coming up. It's not reportable just yet.
Warlord is stoked for Trump.
Truth Social.
If this is your first time joining me for a Trump speech, we've done this quite a few times now.
Go to the Apple App Store. Not available on Android.
We usually pay attention for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes.
To let you know that.
I'll even fact check him for a little bit, and then I just get tired.
We will definitely let you know.
We end up talking about video games, movies, TV shows,
And if you guys would like to keep up with
music.
editorial team's updates, you guys can follow me personally on all platforms at Grace Saldana. And with that, I'm going to toss it back over to Brian.
Thanks, Grace. We're happy to be here. We're happy you're joining us here on this Saturday night.
Thanks, Grace.
Last time when they had
This is your first Trump speech with me, Spider.
always good to have President Trump take the stage, but
He just starts rambling on and on like.
I would think that he's going to talk a lot about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia.
This is the same fucking bullshit. Now we will get some Ukraine shit. We'll get some new shit because of developments in Russia and Ukraine.
Very kind of a breaking story on that, very limited detail. So there's.
I don't blame you for not wanting to listen to him speak.
We can all sit back and reflect. Well, is this just a product of a weak administration? And it seems like the.
I mean, like I just do it because.
Removed from office, and you know.
It's some content. I can get high. I can make fun of him.
Power back over to many of these leftist countries that have a total socialist agenda. And I
what leftist countries?
What has happened right now?
The fantasy world these people live in.
What's going on there? I mean, within a matter of days, really, Biden, with a stroke of a pen, stopped the construction of the wall, the border wall along Texas and Arizona, and which at that point opened up the floodgates to a lot of people coming in illegally, and a lot of good people. And
Oh my God!
A lot of drugs, a lot of fentanyl, a lot of terrorists that are known on terrorist lists coming in. So you've got the reversal of the immigration, and then when you look at
the left trademark,
he's going to talk about that as well. As you know, I said this earlier that gas prices are almost the lowest hanging fruit.
I'm not high enough for this shit at all.
What affects you the most on an everyday basis, and so you have gas prices, and then that translates into higher food cost, and that translates into just your overall.
They're playing copyrighted music, and I'm trying to vamp to just letting them talk.
With lumber costs going up, so there's so much.
You got some white people in that crowd going wild to Gloria.
In terms of what affects the average American right now, I've said this.
This motherfucker's got his cowboy hat on. He is getting the fuck down.
For you and your family, although I think the Ukraine-Russian conflict is a.
I got two different bongs here in front of me. I got two different bongs. I don't know if this one's even got anything in it.
About the safety and security of them, their family, their security.
I've got it turned down now because they're playing copyrighted music. I'll turn it up when Trump comes out to speak. I'm sorry, RB.
Addressing some of that.
That's why I'm trying to be entertaining for you. Fuck CPAC. Don't pay attention to what they're doing right now.
Awake, not woke has been the theme. And if you've tuned in to watch some of the speakers we've had earlier today and the last previous days, rather, you'll see that's a common theme right now. That
and Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Rhetoric that the media and that the left is pushing. We had the pleasure. Liz and I were at the Reagan dinner last night. We heard Glenn Beck
double fisting the bongs like a boss. This one's really pretty. This one is really pretty. I like that, but it's like. It's not the best one to hit, but it's really pretty.
A man can give birth to a baby. That is absolutely false, and we should.
Yes, why are they obsessed with that? You guys might not be in right-wing spaces. I tend to be in right-wing groups and shit, and like them, the fact that Google will tell you that a man can have a baby just fucks with their minds. And somehow Google returning that as a fact to them has just completely blown their tiny brains. They can't wrap their minds around it, and they think the entire left has gone crazy because Google will tell you that a man can have a child. which is true. I don't know, they've cut our CPAC feed off or some shit. We have lost audio from CPAC during my little rant. I had it turned down, but like it's completely gone out. Right after Right Side Broadcasting filleted themselves about being the best place to watch Trump rallies. They knocked out their own audio. Let's see what the chat says. No sound, can't hear, no sound. Well, it's not just us.
That is a new film coming this spring by Dinesh D'Souza, and it's unbelievable.
Ooh, a new film this spring by Dinesh D'Souza.
And the anticipation is building as Grace and Liz and I sit on this meteorizer waiting to see President Trump, and we know some of the topics he's going to talk about tonight. Obviously, Russia-Ukraine conflict, but he's going to talk about how we got to get rid of these rhinos that are trying to get back Liz Cheney. Does she have a screaming chance of getting elected again? I don't think so. He'll talk about
Apparently she does. Apparently she's outraised her opponent by like fucking 6 times or some shit.
Thank you, Brian. About to hand it off to Grace. Before I do, what you're saying, you're talking about
money matters.
Russia. I want to know what President Trump has to say about what is going on today. He's going to be speaking at CPAC in just a few moments, and the world is going to be watching. We are in need of a leader and someone to address this crisis. There's no doubt that when Trump brings up Russia, that he's going to be brutal. He's going to show the world what leadership.
Playing the Undertaker song.
The White House is currently missing. Now, again, I want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, please use promo code RSBN at mypillow.com.
Shoot, they're having all kinds of crazy audio issues. I'm going to turn down Lee Greenwood. He'll get me a copyright, and I won't get my 4 cents from YouTube. You would think he would do the patriotic thing and just donate the song to the public domain, but nope. But he allows Trump to use it. The man, the myth, the legend in his own mind. This reminds me of the episode of Rick and Morty where they go into Rick's battery. And like Rick's telling Morty, you let the ramp move down slowly. It really makes their dicks hard. I like the slow ramp. That's the way Trump does it. This is the slow. Yeah, usually he comes out and he throws hats to the crowd. That's his campaign rally. So that's the last, the Arizona rally we did a couple weeks ago? My neighbor's watching this, and she's going fucking wild. She's fucking, like, smacking the floor and shit. She's stomping around like, woo-hoo, President Trump. Oh, we've still got Lee Greenwood. They just had a tribute to Lee Greenwood here at my my local civic center about a month ago or some shit. They had like Dunn from Brooks and Dunn. Maybe it was Brooks. I don't know. It was like one of them. A lot of enthusiasm in the crowd.
Thank you very much, and it's great to be back where it all started with the great patriots of CPAC. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Standing before you today, I'm thrilled to report that our incredible movement, a movement that nobody's ever seen anything quite like it.
They came out and they yelled all into that mic to make sure it was right.
And growing stronger every single day. The radical left is exposed. They're weak, and their pathetic policies have been out there long.
The radical left is not exposed, but if you want me to be exposed, you can subscribe to my OnlyFans.
And we are bringing back
OnlyFans.com/Justin FREAKIN Exposed.
The socialists, globalists, Marxists, and communists who are attacking our civilization have no idea of the sleeping giant. They have awoken. We are a sleeping giant. They cannot even begin to imagine the brave and righteous spirit they've unleashed in men and women like all of you here today. And this is some crowd. We broke the record again. We broke the record again. But they're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th, and then again even more so on November 2024. They will find out like never before. We did it twice, and we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again a third time.
He's coming back.
2022 will be the year that millions
of
everyday
revenge.
citizens stand up to the left-wing fascists, and they'll continue, and we will all continue together to make America great again. We had it done. The election was rigged. They've undone some of it, not all of it. They'll never be able to do all of it.
What the fuck is he talking? They've undone some of it. They've undone some of the election. No, sir, they have not.
But we can build it back again quickly and even better than before, because...
So you're going to build back better, is that what you're saying? That's somebody else's catchphrase, sir. They're already trademarked.
And that their policies don't work. We'll get voter ID. We'll never defund the police.
Well, you don't have my vote then.
Will be wiped out entirely. The wall will be quickly completed.
You had 4 years and you couldn't do it.
3 weeks. Took 2.5 years on the wall, 2.5 years to win all of the litigation, over 11 lawsuits that they threw at us. And we have it just about finished. And then I said, they can't be...
No, you did. You replaced like 100 miles of fencing.
The border so secure as the border that we had will be sealed good and tight, except for...
See, it's going just like I said it was. Like, I'm going to fact check him for a little while, then I'm just going to get tired, and then eventually we're going to talk about video games.
The drugs pouring in, the human trafficking will stop, and we will again save our country from destruction.
He could have made Mexico pay for the wall, clearly. He just didn't want to.
American Conservative Union for putting on this incredible show, this great program of patriots, and in particular, thank you to Matt and Mercedes Schlapp.
I thought he was going to call it a sham. The sham is exactly what it is. Oh, Matt Schlapp.
We have some great Republican leaders tonight, also, and we have
Trump. Did you see the badges that said Trump was right? I've seen a lot of people say that. That's like a manufactured catchphrase with the right now. What in the fuck was he right about? What was he right about, bitches?
We can. I want to thank, and these are great people. These are patriots. Senator Rick Scott. Rick. Thank you, Rick.
About what, warlord? Tell me what was Trump right about?
Bill, Tennessee. Great state of Tennessee. Thank you, Bill. And John Kennedy, he's running. It's not going to be much of an election. He's going to win so easily.
John, whoa, he's popular. Where's John?
Old Lady Kennedy. I don't know.
Great. John, you're popular, John. Wow. Great student. You know, he's a great student. Comes from an incredible state. The other senator's not so good in that state, I must be honest. But John Kennedy is fantastic. Went to Oxford. Do you know that? He went to Oxford. He was an incredible student, brilliant guy, and he's with us all the way. Also, Representatives Madison Cawthorn. Where's Madison?
Both senators from Louisiana are Republican.
They're doing everything they can to stop him. They're doing everything, but that will not be successful, will it? Mark Green. Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
It was the dude we watched earlier that had the little
shy,
Tennessee stars on his tie.
But she does it anyway. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Where's Marjorie?
That might be his vice presidential pick if he is the nominee again.
A man
I don't see anybody stopping him if he runs, and he's most definitely going to run.
Every inch of me.
What? That sounds disgusting.
He thinks it's actually a very beautiful sight. That's why I like it. That's why I like it. He was the White House doctor. And also...
Oh, Ronnie Jackson.
Obama and for Bush. And I'd love to ask him who's in the best shape.
He is now a sitting congressperson.
He was also an incredible...
Pretty embarrassing.
Admiral, respected by everybody. He was a great admiral. He was a great doctor, a great admiral. And you know what he is now? He's an incredible...
They said he was very open about throwing you whatever pill you wanted.
Congressman Ronnie Jackson. Thank you, Ronnie. We love Ronnie.
That was what he was known for, of being the pill distributor.
He said
President White House staff.
The healthiest president in history. If he didn't eat junk food, he'd live for 200 years. That got us into a lot of trouble, right, Ronnie? That statement got us into trouble.
I could totally see Trump picking Green to be his vice presidential candidate.
Terrific, who really loves our country and who's loved in the state of Florida, Matt Gaetz.
I don't think he'll pick DeSantis because I don't think he likes Ron DeSantis.
Thank you, Matt.
Once again, since Matt Gaetz has been brought up, how in the fuck is Matt Gaetz still in Congress? Somebody answer that question.
A project called Truth Social, which has been trending at the top all over the place, and it's going to give our voice back.
What's it been trending on? Truth Social?
Former Congressman Devin Nunes. Devin, where is Devin?
I don't think fucking Twitter has been a buzz with Truth Social.
And you know, I don't have all these names, but I happened to see a star. 128-1 in wrestling. He was serious. Don't wrestle him. A man who, I mean, every time he goes on television, it's like a fight. He gets on, he's got one point, the other point, the other point. And there's nobody like him. And if you ever saw him work out, he just, the machine starts to burn.
Who the fuck is he talking about?
He's still in great shape, but he's a tough cookie, all-American wrestler. And nobody like him, really. There's nobody like him. Congressman Jim Jordan. Congressman Jim.
Oh.
And Polly. And
I don't think... Former President Trump, with all due respect, I do not think that is the thing that Jim Jordan is most known for. Even in the world of wrestling.
Then I said, are you better than
his All-American accomplishments are not what he's most known for.
That's only your son could say that, right? Right, Polly? Jim, thank you for being here.
Bruce Scrotal.
And Governor Kevin Stitt. We know Governor Stitt. He's here someplace, Governor Stitt.
I'm not high enough for this Stitt.
In our midst, Mike Lindell. Will you stand up?
Oh, put the promo code on the screen.
He's a patriot. He's a great guy, too. He spent his life, over 2 years, he spent a whole life. I will tell you what he does and what he goes through, what he believes. He's a great patriot. Thank you.
Rube Social,
Another great
also
patriot.
a
She's
very
doing
apt
incredibly
name.
well in Arizona. She was the anchor. She was the anchor for 22 years. I hate to say that long. Was that about right? 22 years, and people.
And we've still got the promo code up on the screen.
Inside and out. You know, you're not allowed to say that anymore. It's politically incorrect, but it's true. She's beautiful inside and out. She's an incredible woman, Carrie Lake.
Opie Jaws, welcome. Thank you for being a freaking
And
follower.
she is leading big. Wow, I just looked at a poll, Carrie, and, well, you never know, right? So just keep working.
We're getting high and we're making fun of stupid ass Donald
There's so
Trump.
many other people here. If I see him, if you don't
Welcome
mind,
to the party.
during the course of the speech, I'll just bring them out. This way it saves me a lot of problems for the rest of the year, or when they vote against me at some point. They'll vote against me because I didn't mention that.
I don't understand how he hasn't been let out in handcuffs yet, because
said,
it appears that they
Sir,
have a
you've been in
case
business,
against
you've been
him.
in entertainment, The Apprentice, and you've been in politics. Who are the toughest? Who are the worst? I said, the worst are the politicians.
Do you even think that he's still fucking like?
The meanest of the politicians.
He's 70-something years old. Like, can he still get a fucking hard on? Is he having an affair with anybody? Is he still grabbing pussies?
Like Adam Shifty Schiff. Where do you meet people like this? He actually made up a story about my phone call with the president of Ukraine, who, by the way, is a brave man. He's hanging in. He's a brave man.
I can't imagine, like, who wants to fucking sleep with that motherfucker. But
I like him because
right-wing logic
ridiculous
is
impeachment waste of time.
not
The
a thing.
Republicans stood by us. We were 196-0. When did you ever hear Republicans do that? But this was truly a scam. But the president of Ukraine,
Like, you know, I can understand wanting to sleep with, like, JFK or, like, even Clinton. Like, he's a slick motherfucker.
right? He said he did absolutely nothing. I called him
Trump?
up.
Ooh.
He said he did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. I'm glad that tape was going. Those transcribers were writing during that call, because otherwise it could have been. But this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with some people that are truly evil, truly bad people. Let me also express my enormous gratitude to every single
So the events going on in Ukraine and Russia was a good excuse for Trump to be able to bring up his first impeachment.
That's a lot of fake news. Look at all
And
that.
that was a perfect call. I didn't do anything wrong. I was talking to this trans girl.
My friends from North Carolina, they've come to.
She's a hardcore right winger. She's been featured in like the Huffington Post and shit
92 rallies
for like the shit she did on the campaign trail.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
She lives about 30 minutes down the road. She's like, I live to turn left-wing soy boys into my bitch or some shit like that.
You know
And
what?
I'm like, ooh, come on. I'd love to see you do it to me. Please. And she blocked me.
We've been together from the very beginning in this journey, and
I think she wanted an actual submissive, not like
from being done, because we had
like big ball sack swinging motherfucker being like, ooh, I dare you to do that to me.
to have a country left for an amazing 48 years. CPAC has helped to conserve.
She sent me pictures though. I've got like
magnificent
I've got pictures of her.
heritage. And this year we're being
You naughty girl.
vividly reminded how fragile and precious that heritage really is. I never knew how important being president was. I was president for 4 years. I think I did a great job. We did things that nobody could do.
You did not do a great job, sir. I apologize. I hate to be the one to break it to you. I don't want to see Biden be the nominee for the Democrats. I want a primary challenge, and I want it from Katie fucking Porter.
The importance.
Now, let's be realistic. Katie Porter is probably not going to win.
Country today, the president.
The very, very far and away chance.
Obviously know that. But
being able to unseat the sitting president, the incumbent.
Like a yawn.
But it pushes him further to the left. There needs to be a strong left-wing challenger.
No, you just can't. It's just such an important. It's so important, psychologically so important for our country. I never really realized to that extent. I knew it was important, but you assume you're going to be doing certain things.
The Republican primary. It's going to be fucking wild.
Independence and all of those things, but you also have to portray a strength to the outside world. Otherwise, they're going to walk all over you, and that's what they're doing right now. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage that Joe Biden.
One of them is on stage right now.
In just a very short.
I've got like fucking academic work that says like you are in the fucking 5 where you weren't the worst. You were like the 4th worst, which blew me the fucking away. But like, you didn't have time to do enough damage. There's a cat here, but he's not wanting to walk into the. Not wanting to walk into the shot. I don't know what's going on. Come on, buddy.
Whoever heard of that? Whoever heard of that? Our country has lost its self-confidence. Whoever heard of that? Whoever thought you'd be hearing? But it's true. We've lost our self-confidence when you see the way we withdrew. When you see the.
What does that? What we lost our self-confidence?
Who wants this?
This motherfucker has no concept of confidence to begin with.
Over 1 year ago. We had the most.
His insecurity is his fucking insecurity about getting made fun of by Obama is the whole reason why he became president.
Economic recovery in the history of our country, fastest economic recovery in history, an unrivaled military.
You come over and say, "Hey, buddy." No, he's not.
Space Force on top of it, and peace and quiet was all around the world. Now inflation is the highest in 40 years. Economists are talking about 5, 6.
Apparently, we had peace and quiet all around the world while Trump was in office.
Supply.
I don't remember it. I don't think the people in Yemen would remember it that way.
Empty. Millions of illegal aliens are rushing our borders. Murders are setting records in our.
Pretty sure we normalized relations with the UAE just to fucking sell them arms.
A radical left zealot has been nominated to the Supreme Court of the United States.
And here we go.
Threatening Taiwan, Russia.
We talked about this yesterday when we were listening to the announcement, the vitriol that the
of a nuclear bomb
young black lady is going to receive is going to be off the charts.
The worst and most dangerous
radical left zealot.
The Iran nuclear deal. America and our great military has been humiliated in its surrender from Afghanistan, and that's what it was. It was a surrender for no reason.
Apparently, Iran is coming back to the table and is wanting to renegotiate the deal. But what happens if they renegotiate, come back into the agreement with the United States, and then this motherfucker takes office again and pulls us right back out of it? No country will ever honor any kind of treaty they sign with us. Ever.
Into incompetence, stability into anarchy, and security into catastrophe. The Russian attack on Ukraine is appalling. It's an outrage and an atrocity that should never have been allowed to occur. It never would have occurred. We are praying for the proud people of Ukraine. God bless them all. God bless them all.
God bless them, everyone.
Thank you. They are indeed brave. As everyone understands, this horrific disaster would never have happened if our election was not rigged and if I was the president. Very simple. It wouldn't have happened. Under Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under Biden, Russia invaded Ukraine. I stand as the only president of the 21st century on whose watch Russia did not invade another country.
Yeah, I feel like he had no reason to wag his dick. I wonder about that that's not a point to be proud of like you're proclaiming it to be, sir.
Thank you. I gave Ukraine the javelins that everyone is now talking about, and millions of dollars.
You tried to blackmail them. You tried to withhold arms from Ukraine. It's what you got impeached for.
They sent him blankets. Thank you very much.
He said the blanket thing earlier.
It was a peaceful place because America was strong, and the perception of our country was perhaps like it had never been before. Powerful, cunning, and smart. We were a smart country. Now we're a stupid country.
We elected you.
Always, very simply, put America first. That was the answer.
Obi Jaws, yes. They've got the long COVID. They're unvaccinated. They got a bad case of COVID and they survived. They're kind of a little derp for it.
And I was proud to be the first president in decades who did not get our country into any wars. I got you out of wars.
Warlord, not the only resident of the UK in the chat.
Thank you.
We're worldwide over here.
Thank you. Under our administration,
I'm sorry, Obi. They are awake, not woke.
Country respected America, and they really respected us a lot. But now Joe Biden is seen as a weak, and I hate to say it because I want him to do a great job. I really want.
Dude, there have been like compilations made of just late night shows from across the world mocking this motherfucker.
Ever believe how bad and weak and grossly incompetent it has been? And when you have a weak president who is not respected by other nations, you have a
it's called talking out of both sides of your ass.
This chaotic since
you can always claim that he was right
we can say that
because he says things that contradict each other.
I have no doubt that President Putin made his decision to
Mystical, you can probably guess exactly the shit that he said.
Withdrawal from Afghanistan.
He made everything about him. He used the Ukraine incident to harken back to why he shouldn't have been impeached. It was a perfect phone call.
The finest equipment anywhere in the world were left behind. Yesterday, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said,
"Oh, curiouser. You just got here. We've heard from several nutcase right wingers.
Yes, he's smart.
Well, thank you, Obi. I appreciate it. Come back. We do the nightly news
as he looks over what's happening
Sunday through Thursday
with no repercussions or threats whatsoever.
Hope to see you again, my friend.
So smart. They're looking the opposite of smart. If you take over Ukraine, we're going to sanction you, they say. Sanction? Well, that's a pretty weak statement. Putin is saying, oh,
sanction? Donald Trump doesn't even know what that fucking means.
You mean I can take over a whole country and they're going to sanction me? You mean they're not going to blow us to pieces, at least psychologically? The problem is not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
The dumbest fucks walking the planet right now.
And they so far allowed him to get away with this travesty. And
talk about how dumb other people are.
This is an assault on humanity. So sad. Putin is playing Biden like a drum, and it's not a pretty thing as somebody that loves our country to watch. Just not a pretty thing to watch. You know, I was with Putin.
Hold on.
With him.
I might have something for that.
With President Xi, I got along with Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un has massive nuclear power.
Yes, we know you got along well with dictators.
You can be very tough and get
We're
along.
well aware of this.
You know, I'm the one that ended his pipeline. He said, "You're killing me with the pipeline." Nobody else ended his pipeline. Biden came in. He approved it. But I did a lot of things that were very tough on Russia. No president was ever as tough on Russia as I was. And I'd come in, the fake news would say, Trump loves Russia. He loves Russia. Then we had the Russia.
Fucking Lyndon Johnson, JFK,
all the rest, just a total.
fucking Eisenhower. Nobody was as tough on Russia.
But
as
with
fucking
respect to
Trump.
what's going on now, it would have been so easy for me to stop this travesty from happening. He understood me, and he understood that I didn't play games. This would not have happened. Someday I'll tell you exactly what we talked about. But we talked about it. And he did have an affinity, there's no question about it, for Ukraine. I said, never let it happen. You better not let it happen. This is the only attack in history where the further he goes and the bigger it gets, and the worse it gets, and the more death that's caused, the more money he makes, because oil prices keep climbing higher and higher and higher. There's never been anything like that, where a warring nation, the more he makes it difficult to get oil, the more expensive it gets, and the more money he makes. And all those tanks roaming around are very expensive, but they're peanuts compared to the kind of money that he's making because of the tremendous increase in oil. You know, when I left, and during my term, oil was at $36 a barrel. Think of it, 36. Now it hit 100, and they think it's going to 150. So the Middle East and Saudi Arabia, a lot of countries, but Russia right now in particular is making more money than they ever dreamt possible. The cost of the war is very, very small compared to the kind of money they're taking in. There's never been a situation like that. It's hard.
Would you open up a few new hotels?
It's a disincentive for him to disengage. Remember, Joe and Hunter Biden got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife and were never allowed to explain in the debate. Remember we had the debate? And I said, hey, what'd you do with the $3.5 million that you got from the mayor of Moscow's wife? And Chris Wallace, who I assume was now fired from Fox, which is good.
I think his contract just came up and he
said,
left.
That's not an appropriate question. That turned out to be another one. Trump was right. That turned out to be another very appropriate question.
Oh, my God.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Very rich family, I will tell you that. This is a conflict of interest, but at the same time, Joe Biden bragged unknowingly on tape, and this was on tape, can you imagine if I said it, about getting rid of a Ukrainian prosecutor, or he wouldn't allow $1 billion of American taxpayers' money to be given to Ukraine. They kept saying, where's the money, where's the money, where's the money? No, you got to get rid of that prosecutor. He's getting too close. Can you imagine if I did that? And he was on tape. And the fake news media, those people right there, refused to report it.
You did do what you're accusing
the fact that China
Joe Biden of doing.
1.5
and it was on tape, and we did see it.
Never managed money before, other than the money they got, probably. There's plenty of conflicts there. You don't have to even think about it, and the fake news didn't want to mention anything. They didn't want to talk about it.
I'm at a pot.
It was bad for the election. It was bad for
fill this one up.
Our country in their mind, but they probably knew talking about it would have been good. We can never really bring our country back unless we get it.
Oh, yeah, and we've probably got like another half hour, 45 minutes at least of
and
this.
They refused to air Scandal. They refused.
I'm sorry, Curiouser. It was just a reason to come on.
Over the next 3 weeks.
Make fun of some right-wingers.
As one of the worst scandals ever. I call it the...
But I'm not high enough for this shit. That's why I got to pack another bong.
And it's all on tape. It's all on tape. And truth to vote,
then I'm probably going to watch a movie. And I don't know what kind of movie I'm going to watch.
All of them for the job they've done. It's incredible. But that'll be released very soon. Everything is on tape.
Even the pictures are taken of the people stuffing the ballot boxes, because without the pictures, they don't get paid. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of votes.
There are no pictures of people stuffing ballot boxes.
Focus, they say, on the swing.
God, he just makes shit the
you know
fuck
what?
up.
They probably-
Right wingers just make shit the fuck up.
Swing states was
It
the
takes
focus.
so long
Last year, we've
to,
seen
like,
weakness, self-loathing, and
fact
self-destruction
check their
on a
shit.
scale previously unthinkable. A military obsessed with equity to all and only being.
Well, Trump is not going to put you to sleep. He's going to infuriate you. He's going to make
Is a general good, strong
your blood pressure go up.
General Patton. How do you think he'd like this military? General Douglas
Patton.
MacArthur. Would General Patton be allowed to shout?
I think of General Patton. I think of Mike Patton.
Sir, we don't think that would be appropriate. Oh, really? Oh. I don't think, Jim Jordan, that would work out too well, would it, huh? Wouldn't work out too well. A Department of Homeland Security actively aiding illegal immigration and, in many cases, criminals coming into our country. Criminals, absolute criminals. A Department of Energy and Interior forcing us to be real.
If only Trump is all too real. That's why. If only Trump wasn't real and he couldn't hurt us. If only.
Opposing party and patriotic parents. As grave as the dangers are abroad.
I usually listen to Jim Cornette's podcast
that spells
while I'm making food, or something by Robert Evans.
Reversed. Our most dangerous people are people from within.
Yeah, it's just stream of consciousness.
Must hate.
And it's worse now. He had people around him during the 2016 campaign. Like, he had people coaching him on and trying to keep him on point and shit. And like, he has nobody around him anymore. He's fired everybody. He's purged everybody. It is only complete yes men around him. So it is all his worst impulses. 2024 will be a train wreck.
No, global warming. We have a world that's ready to blow up and disintegrate over energy, and he's talking about global.
If only this was a character being played by like John Goodman or some shit.
1/100th of an inch.
But it's not. Alas, it is not.
Giving you slightly more seafront property. And this is his problem. He's not thinking about the nuclear warming. He's thinking about other types of warming. These people are not living.
What nuclear warming?
The reason we've got so.
What does that even mean?
Is that Biden shut down American energy, canceled our oil and gas leases just 2 days ago. 2 days ago, they canceled many oil and gas leases because of the environment. It's really unbelievable.
Good.
The Keystone XL pipeline that I approved, while he enriched Putin by approving the Russian pipeline, which has really been at the core of much of the problem we have right now. And I fought Angela. I said, Angela, here is a white flag, happened to be a white napkin that was on my desk. I said, Angela, you can have it. She said, but why? I said, because you're getting 75%, and I think it's higher than that, but it will.
Nuclear war is a byproduct of covfefe.
Energy from Russia. And as you probably know through history, you've had some rather major conflicts with Russia. And if you ever have a conflict with Russia, you will be able to wave the white flag and surrender, because they supply your energy. And I knew that would happen. I just never had any idea it was going to happen so fast. Now Biden is pleading with OPEC and begging Iran
Makes my eye twitch.
to enter the disastrous nuclear deal. With Biden, you get a war in Europe.
There is probably a lot of crazy motherfuckers in the crowd.
With
But I think like lemmings is a better description. Like the people in the crowd are probably kind of dumb. Like, look at that dude. He don't have original thoughts in his head.
We will reclaim our status as the #1 energy.
Those women don't have anything interesting to say.
Something that I had achieved for the first time in 72 years. I was very proud of that. They ended it almost immediately.
They're just kind of there.
Bigger,
He is a terrible speaker. He's not captivating in any way.
In 1 year, we were already bigger. We were doing things that we had.
So I was so looking forward to like when he hosted SNL, and it sucked. He sucked so bad.
But rather allow the people of our country to start producing like they did just 1 year ago. That's all we have to do. This will drive prices down, drive inflation down. You want to get rid of inflation or bring it way down? Reduce the cost of energy. That's the single biggest factor having to do with inflation. And what has happened in Ukraine is a catastrophic.
We've got another special stream coming up on like Tuesday. We'll have the State of the Union. Is it this Tuesday?
Democrat politicians in Washington, they seem to be rushing to microphones to declare that Ukraine's borders are sacred. They want to say their borders are sacred. And we feel for Ukraine in so many ways, but
this is
Ukraine's
Tuesday.
sovereignty must be defended at all costs, they say, even while they're destroying our own borders and surrendering our own sovereignty. We have a border that's a catastrophe. We have people coming into our country that we don't want. They will not be good for our country. You will be paying a price for many, many years to come. We have terrorists.
That's just straight up racist rhetoric.
Remember they said, oh, the planes are coming.
We've got people coming in that we don't want.
Energetic people. Those are people that you will be paying a big, big price for in years to come. The most important duty of every elected lawmaker is to protect and defend America, and that begins with protecting and defending America's borders.
Oh, that really got the white people to stand up. Yes, sir.
Joe Biden, we're losing our country no different than if we had lost it in a war. No different. No different.
Eggo waffles.
Millions of people are pouring in, descending on our communities, camping in our.
Last time I had Eggo waffles, I had the little like French toast
flouting
ones.
our laws and bringing crime, drugs.
They were kind of expensive, and you got less waffle.
And they're not only coming from Central and South America, they're coming from
per square inch.
Over 100.
They were good. I wanted to try them.
In many cases, from jails that are being emptied into our country as though we are a dumping ground. We're not the United States. We're considered a dumping ground for criminals. The Biden administration has spent months obsessing over how to stop an invasion.
No, we're not a dumping ground for criminals. We lock up more people than any other country on the fucking planet. It's not per capita. We've got more people locked up than China.
And we had it stopped 1 year ago. We had it stopped.
Oh, he had crime stopped
1 year ago. You can't defend Western civilization if you would not be able to defend your own civilization. And that means we need borders that work, elections that are fair.
Somebody earlier said it sounded like Stephen Miller was involved in this. And like, yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does.
And we must immediately stop the influx of illegal aliens. Has to stop immediately.
Incredibly fashy bullshit.
Poison from within. The Biden administration cares more about helping citizens of a distant foreign nation than it does about our own citizens, because our country is a mess. Our country is a dangerous place, and it's getting worse and worse every day. And when you hear 3 million people this year, it's not 3 million. It's probably,
I'll agree with him. It's a dangerous place. It's like
10 million.
because of people like you, asshole.
But the real truth is they have no idea what it is. Yet if the radical Democrats truly want to fight for democracy abroad, if they want to look abroad and fight for what they want to fight for, which I don't think they do, they should start with the democracy that is under threat right next door. Place called Canada.
What? You tried to end democracy.
Well, by the way,
Like just like a year and some change ago. I was here. I watched it.
one of the greatest deals we ever
Like
made.
you tried to stop the certification of a democratically elected president. You tried to put yourself in power as a dictator.
But they want to renegotiate, and they probably will do it.
You are the threat to democracy that we have in this country.
First, we put America first. It's a great deal. They should leave it. They've been ripping us off.
The ineffective Democratic Party is also a threat to democracy.
The tyranny we have witnessed in Canada in recent weeks should shock and dismay people all over the world. In an advanced Western democracy, the peaceful movement of patriotic truckers, workers, and families
honk.
Their most basic rights and liberties has been violently put down. Their assets and
I mean, like 11 of them were arrested with a cache of weapons. So
slandered as Nazis, racists, and terrorists. These are
apparently a couple of them were waving Nazi flags.
They've been arrested and charged with phony crimes. They've been falsely accused of loyalty to foreign powers. I watched them. I saw those maple leafs all over the flags and the love for their country. Plenty of Americans.
Is there something going on with truckers from Mexico?
They're being hunted down like enemies of their own government and treated worse than.
I know. We've got some pitiful fucking attempts to.
You're either with the peaceful
duplicate the trucker convoy going on right now here in the U.S.
And that's what's been happening, and it's been a strong line. We stand with the truckers, and we stand with the Canadian people in their noble quest to reclaim their freedom.
Wait, he called Trudeau fascist, didn't he? Pot meat kettle.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you, Linda. Good job. Right here in our own nation.
Good job, Linda. You got a shout out.
Time to declare independence from every last COVID mandate. It's time. It's time.
That's a good question. I would assume that Mexican truckers probably have to be vaccinated.
I let the governors make that decision, and we had some governors that did a great job, and we had some governors that didn't do a very good job. But I can tell you that the Republican governors did.
This is the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, at the Conservative Political Action Committee.
Where the crime is, and you don't see the word Republican very much, if at all.
Convention of 2022.
Americans must insist that the emergency is over, and we will submit to this left-wing tyranny no longer. We will not do it any longer.
What tyranny?
So much damage to people and to our children.
I think tyranny is the fact that I got to hear about like NFTs and shit. I got to live in a world where like this is part of reality. That's tyranny, bitches.
At the ballot box this November. As everyone here understands, the COVID mandates are just one part of a much larger crisis. The radical left is trying to replace American with woke tyranny. They want.
I thought he might have surprised me and been like, the lack of health care and access to health care in this country. The COVID pandemic has exposed our lack of health care. And that would have been a correct statement, but no.
Is to take on this radical and power-hungry ruling class and to deliver them an electoral defeat so resounding that they are exiled into political oblivion. Never, ever.
I'm a political commentator, and Trump is speaking, and we were just covering his speech. I'll cover Biden's speech on Tuesday. We'll do the news on Sunday.
Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer.
I think we're all on the same page here. We're just mocking this buffoon.
Of this corrupt and lawless political establishment. They enrich their families in Ukraine, China, Russia, while they shutter your small businesses right here at home. They send young Americans to
fight. He's literally talking about his family.
Nations, while they throw our borders open to an illegal foreign invasion, which is what is.
I am not high enough for this shit.
Violent criminals loose without charges while prosecuting their political opponents for fabricated crimes. They legalize mass robberies and cheer for BLM and Antifa rioters, ransacking our cities while they hold nonviolent protesters without trial, destroy their lives. They lift sanctions on Iran while they sanction.
I don't know what he's talking about.
They try to silence voices like Joe Rogan for alleged misinformation while they perpetuate the most flagrant hoaxes and monstrous lies like the Russia hoax. How was that? For 3 years, we had a.
So Joe Rogan had on a climatologist
to hate their
parents, talked about global warming in the proper context, and then had on a physicist
on mothers at school board meetings while they
that said that global warming was, climate change was part of the natural cycle, and it wasn't so much the humans contributing to it.
And they say
that dude had worked for BP, and that's not something that Joe Rogan
for a boy or man
came out and said. Joe Rogan presented that as like, see, I'm showing you both sides, and like, no, that's still a false equivalency. You should listen to the climatologist that wasn't taking money from BP.
To frame you, they use the media to slander you. They use the legal system to persecute you. It is a persecution. They rig elections to disenfranchise you and destroy you and ruin your lives. I've seen the anger and the hatred and the horror at the 2020 election.
Horror.
All the while they claim as they are the ones defending democracy. They say they are the ones that are going to defend your democracy and your justice. It's a lot of bullshit. That's what it is. When we win, we will defeat this corrupt political establishment. We will save our republic and we will restore.
This is a campaign speech for 2024.
The people.
In February of 2022.
The Washington swamp knows that we are coming to break their grip on power forever. That is why they are so desperate to stop us. They will go to any lengths. And that is why the corrupt Democrat prosecutors, an unconstitutional, unselect committee on January 6th, the unselect committee. Can you imagine a committee made of these thugs? They hate us all. Is there ever been a committee like this?
Well, I mean, you tried to pull an insurrection.
I think I came up with it first. I'm very proud of many of our terms. But they're continuing their evil and demented persecution of me, my family, my staff, my supporters, and you. It's the same witch hunt that's been going on since day one, since actually the day that I came down the escalator with our great future First Lady.
Everyone that doesn't agree with us is crooked and needs to be put in jail. Everything that's said about us is a lie, fake news.
Now we know that crooked Hillary not only spied on my campaign, she spied on the White House.
That never happened. And explaining why that never happened takes like 20 minutes, and that's because like my video on it is 30 or 40 minutes.
Years ago, I think they spied
Explaining why that never happened is so
said on the other
difficult.
side, how dare he say that? How dare he? Well, it turned out to be true. And I want
No, it didn't.
Durham for figuring that out.
That is not.
And I believe that's just a foundation on which a lot of very bad things are going to be learned about what took place. Everything they're doing to me is about preserving their power and control over the American people. If I renounce my beliefs, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed at home,
What?
if I said I'm not going to run, the persecution would stop immediately. They'd go on to the next victim. Who's next? But they'll never, ever do what they did to me. And nobody else, I don't believe, would be able to take it if they did. I have had that a lot. I've had great people come up to me and tell me, sir, may I please ask you a question?
Sir, I believe Michael Jackson got a lot harder than you did.
How did you take it? How did you take it? How did you take what they...
Britney circa fucking 2006, 2007.
There's never been anything like...
Got it a lot harder than you ever did, sir. Like everything that was fucking lobbed at you was warranted.
Do any of those things because I love this country. We love this country, and we're gonna...
He keeps like fucking doing this shit with his jaw where it looks like it's out of place. Like it's one of those like fucking snakes that like snaps their jaw out of place. Eat its prey. Ugh.
But remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you, and that is it.
They're coming to take me away, haha. They're coming to take me away, ho.
2022, we're taking on this wretched and corrupt political establishment like never before. And we've learned a lot over the last 4 years. We've learned how corrupt they are. Nobody can even believe it. If you wrote a book or a novel, and it was all just printed out like this, with Crooked Hillary.
They have wrote several books about how corrupt your administration were.
Did it find no
was.
But with all of the things that you've seen, all of the horrible
Not
things
high
that
enough
you've
for this
seen,
shit.
the corruption, the spying. It was spying. It's probably worse than spying. It's treason. It's everything you can have. If anybody ever wrote...
Sparkles said I couldn't keep my eyes open. I don't believe it was true last night.
No, it's not believable.
Those edibles hit me awful hard, apparently.
And it's worse. They're finding out things now that nobody even thought were possible. We're going to end Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all.
He said we're finding out things that nobody thought were possible. I thought he was going to tell us about fucking Area 51.
And then we're going to kick the Biden crime family.
Give us some alien inside or some shit. Fucking moves on to fucking... You're going to take out Nancy Pelosi? Once again, it's a safe blue district. Please, Donald Trump, put some effort into taking out Nancy Pelosi. I want to take out Nancy Pelosi.
To do what has to be done to save our country. They're trying so desperately to be politically...
I was trying incredibly hard to hold them open. Apparently, I fell asleep after she left.
The United States Supreme Court. They are terrified of the radical left. They are afraid of packing the court so that they are only one of 15, 19, or even 25 justices. And at any cost, they don't want to be impeached. Please don't impeach me. I don't want to be impeached. I'm a Supreme Court judge. Please don't impeach me. I'm a justice of the Supreme Court. Don't impeach me, please, for being with a woman that I never heard of before. Women that
he's daring the Democrats to do the things that like the left want them to do.
No idea who they were.
Impeach Kavanaugh. Pack the court. Yes, we are all about those ideas.
I'm afraid to do the right thing. I really do. You know the expression?
Yes, he is afraid to do the right thing. I agree with Trump.
So long ago, we're going to impeach him for something, and then they found out. The woman got up. She said, well, he never did anything wrong. They said, we don't care. We're going to impeach him anyway. These are vicious people. These are vicious people, and we can't let this go on. They have to gain strength. They have to gain new courage.
Was there an effort to impeach
Stand up.
Kavanaugh that I'm not aware of that he is referencing, or did he just make all of that up? Did he dream it one night?
Judges generally. The work of making America great again is only just beginning. The Republicans have...
See, that's another problem with Trump speeches. It gets to the point. It was like with Sparkle's mom. Are you making sense, or am I just so high I'm not understanding
we
it?
could win 65 seats because if we win 64, they'll say it was a terrible night for Trump. Terrible.
He was gonna lay something on us that nobody thought was possible. So I thought it was aliens.
Inflation-causing socialist spending spree to a screeching.
What spending spree? They ain't passed shit.
Of the $6 trillion of radical Democrats. The money's been flushed down the drain, and they're trying to get more. They want to get up to a number that nobody can believe, and looks like maybe people will not allow that to happen because they don't want our country to be destroyed. They should have never, ever in the Senate given that.
He could spin it to benefit himself.
You
An
had
excellent
them on
point.
the ropes. You were going to win. And then Mitch McConnell gave them a 2-month stay. I call it the 2.
Oh, he's gonna attack Mitch. I'm all about it.
And then they voted for the I call it the uninfrastructure bill because there was very little infrastructure, right? There was 9% infrastructure. Most of it's like throwing.
Mitch isn't up for re-election.
And they voted.
Rand Paul is.
Mitch McConnell, he's so bad for our country. The American people deserve to know, where did all the money go? In addition, we must take immediate action to fight the Biden violent crime wave that is devastating our citizens in Democrat-run cities. You look at what's going on in Chicago. So sad. In Afghanistan.
Did you guys know Chicago isn't even in the top 20 most violent cities?
The Taliban. I said, Abdul, you better.
They always love bringing up Chicago. It's like a dog whistle.
It's much tougher than that. I want to be nice.
I guess because it's a predominantly black city.
Concerned if you heard.
Or it's a predominantly
But I said, Abdul, you can't.
diverse city.
You better fucking kill ourselves as because if you do, you will be hit like no country has ever been hit. You will be.
Okay, well, here's the thing. There is life out there. There is fucking just the multitude of planets that are in the habitable zone. Just the likelihood that there are other life forms out there.
Do you think he calls?
No question. There is no carbon-based life form that could ever live long enough to get somewhere where something else is. Because the time just to get to the edge of our galaxy is so extreme. There's no way to tackle that.
Diplomatic. And you know, we didn't have one soldier killed in 18 months in Afghanistan. We had them. This is what we want, the Taliban. And we could have pulled out with strength and dignity. They were absolutely, and then you look at what's happening in New York and Chicago and Los Angeles and these Democrat-run cities, and you have...
Get to the nearest galaxy would be 749 million years.
It's terrible. Republicans should pass legislation making clear that when local left-wing district attorneys and attorney generals refuse to prosecute dangerous criminals, the DAs and attorney generals can be charged with violations of the civil rights law.
Are we talking about like the woman down in Georgia who didn't prosecute the McMichaels?
People that kill violent criminals are being immediately allowed out of jail with no bond.
And tried to cover up with that's the violent criminals that I think the justice system is missing out on.
I was proud to issue the world's first ban on critical race theory in September of 2020. It was over. We ended it.
Even Trump getting in on the critical race
And then
theory.
Biden, with the help of Mitch McConnell, came into office. Remember, he signed 17 executive orders, and one of them unended it. Not good. I also created the 17.
He did not need Mitch McConnell's help to do any executive orders, sir. That has nothing to do with what an executive order
We in
is.
this room do. On his first day in office, Biden abolished the 1776 Commission and then proceeded to impose woke left-wing racism on our military. With a Republican Congress, we will once and for all ban critical race theory from our schools. We will ban it from our military. We will ban it from every institution that accepts a single penny from the federal government.
This sounds fascist as fuck.
America's history will be taught fully and truthfully to America's beautiful children.
They're gonna fucking teach this shit in school and not for a good reason.
Something new. That's right. Something new that came up, parents' rights. Who ever thought of parents' rights? Parents' rights. We love our parents, of course. Now we have to defend parents' rights against these lunatics and maniacs. America's moms and dads should get a veto over anyone teaching far.
There's a lunatic and a maniac speaking to me right now on my TV screen, being cheered on.
And any parent who objects to the radical indoctrination in their children's classroom should be able to take their share of taxpayer dollars and spend it at the public, private, charter, or religious school of their choice. Another top priority to save American democracy must be to break up the big tech giants and restore free speech in America. And we'll be fighting that very hard by opening Truth Social.
I mean, the breaking up of the big tech companies is something I can get behind.
Are numbered. The left is also trying to take away the rights and dignity of OAN, One America News, on DirecTV and AT&T, and it's a great voice.
No, they just AT&T just dropped them.
To be shut down.
That is capitalism at work, sir.
Yeah, I do.
The accumulation of power with the big tech companies. That's just capitalism. That's the result of capitalism, sir. I thought that's what you guys liked. You like capitalism when it benefits you.
Allowed to go forward. Well, we're at it. A Republican Congress should launch a select committee, as opposed to an unselect committee, to get to the bottom of big tech's 2020 election interference. Let's find out who made the decision.
What 2020 election interference?
Who made that decision to censor the Joe and Hunter Biden corruption bombshell, which the pollsters said amounted to about 15 points. The largest.
There's a hell of a lot more companies that need to be broke up and dealt with.
And let's
before big tech. I mean, there is an issue with big tech. I don't know how you go about it. I would love to see a social media site that's some sort of open source, but they're like, it takes resources. It takes fucking server space.
They spent to take over local election offices in key Democrat counties. And I believe
you come up against that, and it's kind of hard to do. I don't know what the solution is.
You're allowed to give less than $6,000. Otherwise, they put you in jail. He gave $417 million. What the hell is going on?
Why did you get to talking like this? Why is it?
$6,000 and you go to jail.
Did his balls go back up in his?
Spread all over the place. It's something that
in his little pelvic bone?
Going to have to be looked at. It is so horrible what's happening to our country. We need a full accounting of all of the illegitimate turnout efforts, illegal drop boxes, and ballot harvesting that's taken place.
We're back to talking about the 2020 election in 2022.
97% for Joe Biden because he campaigned so hard from his basement. 3% for Trump.
That same joke. They've been making that same joke for a year and a half now.
100%.
For a year and a quarter.
4,000, I got nothing. No, that was such a horrible thing. We need fair elections. You need those borders. You need those elections. The world is already waiting to see the explosive information out of Georgia where, through the vote, Incredible People has uncovered a massive illegal ballot harvesting scheme with over 2,000 ballot stuffers, or as they call them, mules. They call them mules. These are ballot stuffers.
Never fucking happened. And the investigation in Georgia is into you and election interference.
And the brutality and
for a phone call.
What took place, and we have it on tape. It's all on tape, and it's coming out over the next 3 weeks. It's all on tape. They've got him at the machine, standing here. Here they
Gotta wag my finger at him.
Because that's the way they get.
Like a little child.
Take a picture of them, and what a job they've done. What a job they've done. And you know the saddest part? The hardest thing to do isn't to have caught them. It's to get those people to write anything.
I thought waiting was the hardest part.
Without the fake news, you don't have a scandal.
Yeah, I threw a little Tom Petty on you. Oh, they turned around. They're like pointing at the cameras.
Republican politicians want to ignore election integrity also.
Oh, that's like a little old dude.
We have to fix it.
He's sitting front row with his MAGA hat. And he got up and he pointed at the cameras behind when he was talking about the media. Jesus Christ.
To do it is to come to a very powerful conclusion as to what happened in 2020.
Wow.
To stand down, to stop talking about it, to stop making Americans aware of the cheating and corruption that went on.
No, Spotter. They're the facts don't care about your feelings crowd.
We can do it again.
Don't
we
you
can't
know?
Let that happen. In addition to securing our elections, here are just some of the other things we must do with Republicans back in charge. We must pass critical reforms, making every executive branch employee fireable by the president. The deep state must and will be brought to heel. We will stop the radical.
See, I've gotten to the point where I'm drifting off now. I'm not paying attention to him anymore.
Although the way the Supreme Court is behaving, perhaps
he's been on for a little over an hour.
The Supreme Court. They are behaving.
They should back the Supreme Court. I'm with him.
As a lot of people have suggested that, but I don't think we'll do it. And we will defend the Constitution, the right to life, and the right to keep and bear arms.
Oh my God, Kate McKinnon is in the crowd. She got really excited.
And we
with the mention of the Second Amendment.
We will finish the wall very quickly, a matter of weeks.
He's just throwing out fucking everything now.
We will charge China trillions of dollars for unleashing the virus upon the world.
He's like, I'm going to give you a casserole of everything else.
We will place tariffs on other countries. We will do the tariffing thing. We have no choice. You know,
we will do the tariffing thing. God, he's so stupid.
Hundreds of billions of dollars during our time in office. They never paid 10 cents, never 10 cents between tariffs and taxes. Hundreds of billions of dollars. And, you know, we made a trade deal, and it was an incredible deal for our farmers and our manufacturers. That's why our farmers are doing so well,
because China, now I understand that
There was a blonde lady that kind of looked like Kate McKinnon in the crowd.
they wouldn't do that with me, but they're not going to do it here. But the farmers did fantastic.
Porgo, I'm all over the place when it comes to movies.
Deals with China. We saved our steel industry because they were dumping steel all over our country. Our steel industry was going down the tubes. I've had so many people in the steel industry thank me for the job we did. We put massive tariffs on steel that they were dumping in our country. But we took in hundreds of...
I could be on any time period.
Nobody else took in 10 cents over
any genre.
And I'm very proud of it. And China respected us. And then, of course, when COVID or the China virus came in, we had to deal a lot differently. But we're very proud of the job we did. We did something that I don't think anybody else
Do not strike me for misinformation, YouTube.
did a very good job. Certain Republican governors did a very good job. And I can't think of any Democrat governor that did a good job. They were all in lockstep. Let's lock up your cities. Let's lock up your towns. Let's lock up your state. And let's harm your
Is
children.
any of what I'm saying true, or is any of what Trump is saying true?
We will place tariffs on other...
I mean, there's shades of truth in everything he says.
And we will
It's, that weird fucking trick that he plays.
We're going to
Where
manufacture...
he kind of contradicts himself all the time.
Right here in the USA. And these are just a few of the steps that we have to take to save the nation that we love. The rest of them you know. The rest of them we've discussed today.
I guess the Hillary spying on him
We already
thing.
know what the fate of America will be.
Hillary didn't spy on him, but something happened.
Identity as
And
Americans.
to explain what
So
it
that
was
when they
that
tried to
happened,
take our freedom,
the firm
we
that
do
was
not
doing
even
the
think to resist. They
check for malware in the White House under Obama never happened when Trump was in the White House.
Let them destroy our...
Durham has confirmed this.
But our opponents have made a very big mistake. They have done the one thing you must never...
He has been incredibly racist during this speech,
America.
even by Trump standards.
Underestimated the strength and brilliance and pride of the American people. They're not going to stand for it. They're not going to take it. The crackdown, censorship, and cancel culture are not an expression of confidence. They are an
I want to know who the fuck has been canceled. There are some motherfuckers that need to be canceled.
They reveal not the dominance of the radical left, but their
Can I make a list?
and their despair. They are losing, we are winning.
Matt Gaetz needs to be canceled. Jim Jordan needs to be canceled.
Crazy things that they're doing. They're acting as though they were lunatics, maniacs, and the people get it, and we have to stop it, and we have to stop it now. My fellow Americans, this nation does not belong to the radicals, and it does not belong to the corrupt establishment in Washington that I've gotten to know very well.
Those are two different groups.
Belongs to you, belongs to you.
Tucker Carlson needs to be canceled. Bill Maher needs to be canceled. Fuck him.
Like you that
I wish we had the power to shut fucking Bill Maher up.
to save our country. So to all of those who think that they can coerce and subjugate the citizens of this land, hear these words from me tonight. The people of America will not surrender our borders.
The Lost Cause needs to be canceled.
We will not surrender our faith. We will not surrender our values. We will not surrender our...
They talk about like they're under attack at all times, but all they do is attack us.
Our children to the small band of bullies.
Attack anybody who's not like them.
Everyone else what to do.
You want to tell everyone else what to do. That's the problem.
We are done.
I don't give a shit what you fucking believe, dude.
And we
you don't even believe the shit you say you believe to appease the people in that room that fucking probably don't even believe the shit either.
To be great again. We want our country to be
I don't believe that believers believe that believe in shit that they say they believe.
We were respected like never before. We are a laughingstock. In summation and in closing, as your president, I instituted...
Oh, he wrapping it up. I mean, the world is changing. I'm sympathetic to people that are scared of change. But good fucking Lord, you don't go fascist over it.
I instituted the largest tax cut in American history by far, and our economy thrived like never before. As your president, I eliminated more burdensome regulations than any other president in history by far. As your president, I proudly protected our Constitution and the First and Second Amendment. As your president, I secured our southern border, upheld the laws of this land, and stopped the influx of illegal immigrants into America. Very dangerous illegal immigrants.
Very dangerous.
The remain in Mexico policy. We don't want you here. You have to remain in Mexico. And Mexico agreed with us. Someday I'll tell you that story. Built over 500 miles of border wall and ended the insanity of catch and release. As your president,
I understand it because my mom lived in a very leave it to beaver kind of world. She was scared of change.
America was a net exporter of energy
I like the now. Now is a lot better than it was, 20 years ago.
Free and fair trade
in creature comfort ways.
Japan, all over Europe.
In technological ways.
We had the worst trade.
In a lot of ways, we aren't better than what we were 20 years ago. Our economy is not better than what it was
president in history to
25 fucking years ago.
And they're one-sided and unfair trade practices. And I taxed them and I tariffed them beyond any levels that anybody thought was possible. And you know what? President Xi liked me and respected me, and I liked and respected him. We got along great. Until
but they hate China.
It was a whole different ballgame. But we had a very good relationship. As your president, I kept my promise and chose Supreme Court justices on the list I gave to the country before the 2016 election. I gave a list of great, brilliant, conservative justices.
Yeah, my mom had an outhouse for like the first few years of her life.
Their fair share, and they did. Hundreds of billions of dollars started floating in. Hundreds of billions of dollars. And Secretary General Stoltenberg was my biggest fan. He said, "I've never believed."
Not that far removed.
Go to NATO, make a speech.
It's like fucking. I'm from like one of the poorest regions in this country.
And others would too, including
the mountains of eastern Kentucky.
And I went and I said, "I'm sorry, you're all delinquent. You have to pay up." And they said, "Well, does that mean you won't protect us if we don't pay?" I said, "That's what it means." And they said, "Get out the checkbook," and the money flowed in. Billions and billions of dollars flowed in. These are stories that the fake news doesn't want to talk about. I
actually said at the beginning of the stream, I'm like, Sparkles will probably message me, tell me she wants to
the world rightly had a healthy
I'll be like,
fear
fuck
that
this Trump speech.
I would stand strong for American priorities. You remember, though, when so many people in the Democrat
he's
Party
talking at CPAC. I'm a political streamer. That's why I'm watching a Trump speech.
I'm the one that didn't have any wars. I'm the one that got us out of wars. Look at
I think my underwear is
Look
clean
at
enough.
Syria. I was the one that
I don't know what you have in mind.
In Afghanistan, I brought you down to 2,000 soldiers. The easy part was just getting out.
I don't want to stand in line for an hour tonight.
To 2,000 soldiers. The easy part was for Biden to just
the
get
old
around,
people
let
are
the
gone.
soldiers
Would
stay,
they
the
die?
remaining soldiers, and take care of everything. It's called
Soldiers out last. I went to a child.
Well, give me like 20 minutes here. He said he's wrapping up.
I said, let me ask you a question. I gave
Okay.
him a story. Would you take the soldiers out first, or would you?
Good Lord, she sent me 12 messages.
He was 5, and he understood. They understood any
if you didn't figure it out, that was Sparkles.
Consequence. The world is always safer when America has a strong.
She really wants
America has to
sushi.
be strong, and it needs strong leadership. And you see what happens when you have bad, weak, or
I don't have it up.
It's a travesty.
We've had all the groypers.
Could happen in such a short.
I don't actually have it to where it would ring.
Always in danger with a weak American president. This coming midterm election.
She might have tried to call the official line.
I'm asking all of you to fight and work.
But she didn't seem to realize that I was on stream.
That we hold so dear. This is a tipping point.
Okay, so like, here's the thing, Porgo, is I've thought I was living through the end of the Republican Party for the last.
We must win in 2020.
17 years.
We must win in 2024. We all know what happens when you get a rigged election, like in 2020. Will never happen again. We all know.
I ran everybody off on Twitch.
Harvesting was rampant. We all know.
They're all like, well, now he's just going to talk about fucking sushi.
All over our country, and you're not allowed to do that. The only ones that can make the changes are the state legislatures, and they didn't make the changes.
No. You got to talk to the man in the mirror.
This country.
You got to make that change. You knew Michael Jackson, motherfucker. You knew the words to the song. How could you fuck it up that bad, Donald?
Illegal immigrants cannot be allowed to vote like they are currently allowed in New York City. You can walk in and you can vote in New York City. Oh, my beautiful New York. I love New York. My beautiful New York. What's happened? Republicans need to watch the vote counting up close.
Temporary citizens can vote.
We can't allow thugs to throw our people out, which is what happened. Mail-in ballots.
I didn't think there was any way in hell they could win a national election again after the calamity of George W. Bush. But like I underestimated the short memories of these motherfuckers.
We must seek a goal of voter ID. This is a goal we have to seek. This is what we should have. Voter ID, same day voting, like we've always done. No mail-in ballots.
How about, because everybody got to work weird fucking schedules and have fucking 20 gazillion jobs to get by in this country, we expand voting so like you can do it anytime in like the fucking month. Got plenty of drop boxes, mail-in voting.
I have a young son, Barron.
Can we make it as easy as fucking possible for people to vote? How about that? How about that? How about that?
Hi, Dad. How you doing? I said, what are you doing? Yeah, I know how to get it open, Dad. There's bad things happen with the vote. Very, very bad things.
Is he talking about Barron? I missed what was going on.
It goes to paper ballots. You know that, right? Canada. Paper ballots. America is the greatest country on earth, and we must insist on integrity in the process so we are confident of the results. Because what we have now is you have 80% of the party thinking the vote was a horrible vote. And I believe that to be the case.
That's only because like you people keep fucking saying that to your stupid ass followers, and they repeat it, and then you're like, oh, well they're all saying it, so it must be true, and that's not the way anything fucking works.
To act now before November, they have to move, they have to act with the help of everyone here today, and with the commitment of hardworking, freedom-loving patriots all across our country. We will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again.
We will make America proud again. We want to be proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
Now turn it down if we get like the fucking Village People. Not the Village People that time. Well, well, well. I'm being summoned to go ride the pink dragon. Got a lot of politics this week. Got the State of the Union on Tuesday. What do you mean by strong speech? There a lot of stupidity. A lot of stupidity. Just repeating bumper sticker phrases. Appealing to his base, he's just repeating bumper sticker phrases that make dumb people go. Dog whistles of racism. Right wingers are morons. All right, I'm gonna go get sushi with sparkles. Go ahead. Yeah. His base loves it, but they're stupid fucks. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Right wingers are morons.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes, I think you're all fucking stupid. I'm gonna go get sushi with sparkles. Go ahead, light one up. I've got Twitch up. Raid somebody. Gonna raid. Not even paying attention to my fucking Twitch. What's wrong with me? I feel like we haven't seen Polly. Go hang out with Polly. Watching on Twitch, you're gonna go hang out with Polly people. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.